Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is upon us here from the Lift Lock City. I'm Courtney Kenny. I'll be pleased to be joined by Harrison from the Garrison, better known as Harrison Clements, here in Peterborough for our pregame show, which we'll get to right now.
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
And before I bring Harrison in, might as well get right into it with our players to watch. Harrison, bring her up.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
And our players to watch, 2 big presents in game number 5. That was Connor Lockhart, who scored a goal for the Petes and then got into a little bit of a melee with goaltender Dom DiVincentis. Harrison, that's Connor Lockhart. And then North Bay Battalion forward, Owen Van Steensel, who's been dynamite this series.
Owen Van Steensel has been going to work. In the last time they were here at Pete's Memorial Center, he put up 2 goals and multiple points. And in the previous game with the Battalion at home, he managed to net another goal for himself. So he has been playing the body, playing the puck, looking fantastic so far in this series.
Connor Lockhart, through 15 games this postseason, has 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. In this series, he has 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points. Owen Van Steensel, on the other hand, for the North Bay Battalion in the playoffs, in 18 games, he has 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points. In this series, Van Steensel in 5 games has put up 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points in 5 games, Harrison. Point-a-game player coming from your depth, point-a-game player coming from your proverbial third line.
Yeah, and one thing we like to talk about with the Battalion is their depth. They have so many players that can get to work, get so much done, and that's really key, especially when tonight, unfortunately, we are missing that powerhouse in Pasquale Zito, who unfortunately was hit from behind in the previous game and will be sitting this one out.
Yeah, so you touched on it. Pasquale Zito out for at least the remainder of this series. The series could end tonight. It could end tomorrow. Well, it will end tomorrow night regardless if it doesn't end here tonight. He's out of the lineup. Also, Cam Govro out of the lineup for the Petes. He's been suspended indefinitely after that terrible hit on Zito in the corner, which, a lot of people talked about. And Not a big fan of Pasquale Zito is in the building, though, so it's good to see him up and walking around after that. I thought it was his collarbone. Apparently, it's some other issues that we have from Zito. So we'll give you an updated Battalion lineup. On defense, we have Winslow, Christopoulos, Lucan, Nelson, Mathurin, Hislop, and the 7th defenseman is Luke Brasowski. On the top line, starting with Van Steensel, Arnsby, McDonald, then Bloom, Jackson, Hertel, Petrov, Wakely, Tarasevich, Procession, and Romani as the bottom line. On the Pete's side is Spearing, McCoy, Maye, White, Smith, and Zanetti. Then on forwards is Othman, Robertson, and Hayes. Lockhart, Beck, and Chase Stillman, who draws in for the first time since Game 3 after being suspended 2 games for a slew-footing incident. Then Avon, Dubois, Perdeller, Page, Lefebvre, and McCallum starting in net for both sides. Dom DiVincentis for the Battalion, Michael Simpson back in net after what looked like a shaky game in Game 5 in North Bay.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to see Simpson sort of lose the edge that he has had so far throughout the entire series. He's looked very, very good, but as the series has gone on, it's continued to put the pressure on, and the troops have sort of managed to figure out how he's playing that net and find ways around that. It's been a good adjustment from the troops. We saw a really nice goal with Ty Nelson where Kyle Jackson managed to wrap around the net, completely draw him out of position, and capitalize on those mistakes. And Dom's looked fairly solid, and I wouldn't say shaky at all in this series.
I think there might be some people that might disagree with you, namely one person on the other team who has 1 goal in the series, but we'll talk about that later on. The Battalion can hoist the Bobby Orr Trophy here tonight behind enemy lines in Peterborough. If not, Game 7 goes tomorrow, but after 2 great games in Game 4 and Game 5, all momentum seems to be on North Bay's side.
Yeah, the momentum seems to have absolutely swung, winning that second road game, winning a big game at home despite such tough battles going on. And, you know, once the troops get rolling, whether it's scoring early in a period, whether it's later in a game when they manage to pick up momentum, they're able to carry that very, very well and take that to their advantage. And, you know, despite the unorthodox plays in the arena here in Peterborough, they seem to have been learning continually, and I think that they're going to be able to put what they've learned into practice very effectively here tonight, Courtney.
Another big thing in this series will be, this is Peterborough's first time facing elimination in the playoffs. Sweeping Sudbury in the first round, winning in 6 right here against Ottawa in round number 2. This is the first game where the Petes have to come out and win or else they go home. The Battalion have faced elimination once in this playoffs. They beat Mississauga in 6. They beat Barrie in 7, which of course we all know is a win or go home. So the Battalion have, you know, some experience when it comes to putting teams away. The Petes, all new ball game for them, so to speak, when it comes to trying to win to preserve their season.
Yeah, and hey, they faced some absolute adversity so far in the playoffs. Taking the top off of Ottawa is no small task, and they have shown they have determination and a lot of firepower behind them. So when it comes to the Petes, this is not going to be an easy fight at all. They know what's at stake here. The troops know what they are capable of doing tonight, and it's going to be rough and tumble. It's going to be aggressive, and this is going to be one heck of a hockey game. Well,
as head coach Ryan Houlihan said in the post-game press conference after Game 5, he knows that they're going to see the best Peterborough Petes here tonight with their season on the line, and it's all about weathering the storm early with this Petes team. Something the Battalion have been able to silence the last 2 games, getting goals in the first minute and a half each game, and that's going to be big because the first goal in the series has mattered, as the first team to score has won every game so far, whereas in the Barrie series, the team that scored second won, and in the Mississauga series, the team who scored first won every game there as well.
Well, it'd be curious to see if it flip-flops the other way in another series, or if that trend will hold tonight. So it's going to be very, very curious how this game plays out. Both goaltenders have been sharp, as we said, Simpson losing a bit of an edge, but, you know, I would not put anything past him. I would not put any of the players on the ice aside. They all have such great determination. As we saw in the first 2 periods in the previous game, they have no quit in them at all. They will fight to the end. Both sides. It's going to be tight.
Again, on the Pasquale Zito front, he's out for at least the rest of the series. He only has 2 goals in this series, but he's been a point-a-game player for this Battalion team in the playoffs. So, a bit of a loss for the Battalion. The Petes are without Cam Govro. Many thought maybe even Connor Lockhart after his antics in game number 5, but the OHL said no, he's good to go. So Connor Lockhart, once again, our player to watch here in this one for the Petes. And also Chase Stillman back in the lineup as well, as we mentioned, was out 2 games for slew footing after game 3 here. He did that at the very end of the first period in that game. So, and the Battalion won those 2 games that he was out of the lineup. And although the Petes only had him in for the 1 period of that game, that's still what it meant. But that means we're here at our national anthem time here on the front line, so we'll be back on the other side of this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final. The North Bay Battalion lead the series 3-2, and once again are looking to hoist the Bobby Orr Trophy here behind enemy lines. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Harrison Clements here on the Frontline Game Day broadcast. A bit of a home game for you today, Harrison.
Yeah, I grew up in the Court Lakes area, spent a lot of time watching games in this barn, embarrassed myself missing a bunch of pucks in front of about 3,000 people one Christmas time, but we can forget about that. But yeah, it's a fun arena to be in, and I'm expecting some really good hockey here in this very, very important game here.
And the puck is dropped, and we are ready to go for Game 6 as the Battalion win it back. That was Arnsby, and then he couldn't find the puck as the Petes look for possession first, but the Battalion get to it. The Battalion in their road whites are going right to left this period. The Petes in their home maroons are going left to right to start this one, as it's spearing across the ice with the puck. Gets it down to Othman, who tips it into the Battalion end, and that's going to be played behind the net by DiVincentis. McDonald misplayed that one. It's Othman that got a piece of that, but McDonald gets it down the ice to the blue line for spearing over to McCoy. McCoy down the ice for Othman. Othman flips it into the Battalion territory, goes after it with Christopoulos, and then Othman comes away with it, but Christopoulos, the two former Don Mills teammates, still continue to battle. Now it's out front for Stillman as he got his first touch, but it's over to Van Steensel. Van Steensel flips the puck down for Jackson. Jackson gains the Pete zone, has the puck knocked off his stick, and now it's back in deep for Ertel. Ertel leaving it for Jackson, picks it back up, gets it in for Bloom. Bloom in the square corners here, passes it out, but Stillman gets to it. Now Stillman cross ice to Beck. Beck down the ice. carries it in, takes a shot. He missed the net, and then a side chance there is just taken, squeaks through DiVincentis, but DiVincentis had knocked the net off. So we'll get a stoppage here with a minute and 14 seconds gone off the clock.
When it comes to the Battalion and their opponents so far in the playoffs, it seemed either one of two things happen. A team gets a very, very quick goal, or they feel each other out for about 5 minutes to figure out how each team's going to play that night. And so far, it seems to be a bit more of a feeling out process.
Face off to the near side in the Battalion end. And it's in deep for Nelson. Nelson goes behind his net up to Hertel. Hertel gets to the puck on the half wall, tries to flip it out, and he hits a Pete's player, Dubois. And it's back in for Lucan. Lucan behind his net to Nelson. Nelson up the ice to Bloom. Bloom cross ice for Hertel. Hertel carries the puck in. Walks in. Takes a sharp angled backhand chance, and that was turned aside by Simpson. And now Jackson has it behind the net. Tried to flip it out front. And now he's going to get it back to the point for Lucan. Lucan cross ice for Nelson. Nelson looks for the shot. Takes it. Saved by Simpson. Turned aside by the Petes out front of the net. And now it's knocked down the ice for Nelson to chase after. Nelson in his own end goes cross ice to Lucan. Lucan up the ice. Gets it to Tarasevic, who tips it in. As now it's Wakely out there. This line of Wakely, Tarasevic, and Petrov played a lot together in the early half of the season. Now they're back together here in the playoffs. Hayes flips it in on DiVincentis, who kicks it into the corner. Winslow takes his man hard, and Robertson sends it back around. Zanetti now walks in, tries to get it out front. And it was nearly tipped over to a Pete's player. Hayes sends it right back up. Christopoulos tips it away. Christopoulos up the ice for Tarasevic. Tarasevic tips it down past Smith. And now it's to Zanetti. Zanetti down the ice. It's going to get to Robertson. Robertson tries to flip it in, but Winslow gets to it. Now he sends it up for Tarasevic, who just dumps it down and peels off for a change. Smith up the ice for Stillman. Stillman walks in, leaves it for Lockhart. Lockhart with the shot. He's taken down by Procession. And now we see bodies flying everywhere, and DiVincentis out to cover up the puck. And that'll be a big thing here to see how much or how many penalties come in this game, as the Battalion started to figure out the Pete's penalty kill pretty good in that last game.
Yeah, well, when you have so much time, especially on a 5-minute major, to try out a bunch of things you might not have had the chance to earlier in the series, really helps you get a feel of how the other team, special teams, is going to be playing. And they scored 2 off that 5-minute major, so if they get a chance, they'll have solid chances.
Hislop up to Romani to Bloom. Bloom now skates the puck in, takes a shot, stopped by Simpson with the glove. And we'll get a face-off here in the offensive zone for the Battalion. What an effort by Bloom just to get the shot away.
Yeah, he was around about 4 guys and still managed to get that off. And hey, he had a success early in the previous game, so maybe he's trying to replicate that by going in alone.
Well, we're 3 minutes into this one, so we're already past when Bloom scored the goal in that game number 5, and also when Van Steensel scored his goal in game number 4 here. Procession won it back to Bloom, but it's deemed not to be fair, so the linesman blew the whistle right away, and now we're going to get another face-off top between Procession and Dubois on the far side of Simpson's net. Perdeller coming in for the draw, actually. Procession still wins it, but the Pete's got possession as it's back to Smith. Smith goes for a skate, dumps it down the ice. Now it's on the near side for Dubois. Battle in the near side corner, and the Battalion flip the puck down the ice. Simpson out to play it. Simpson goes behind his net to Smith, and now Smith tries to flip it up. It was almost given away to Arnsby, but Dubois is able to knock it in. Took a bit of a weird bounce off the corner there, and now Avon running into DiVincentis, something that we saw an issue with in all the games, so you wonder why DiVincentis dropped the gloves. There's a reason right there. Nothing was getting called when people were running into him, and then Avon had a few words for DiVincentis during the post-game scrum of Game 4.
Yeah, saying he was a little bit shaky, which, I haven't really seen any proof of, but, I might assess maybe a little bit rattled that he keeps getting his neck crashed. That would get me going.
McDonald back to Christopoulos, up to Winslow. Winslow fans on it. He's taken hard into the boards, and Hayes gets to it. Now it's knocked aside by Christopoulos, but Robertson keeps possession. Robertson from behind the net gets it back to the point for Spearing. Spearing flipping it in, goes cross ice. And it's out for Beck, or McCoy. McCoy sent it on net. Spearing sends it right back in. Arnsby tried to pick that one up cleanly, but he misplayed it. And now he gets the puck back, but can't get it past the half boards. Now to Christopoulos. Christopoulos up to McDonald. McDonald looks up ice. He's going to get it to Van Steensel. Van Steensel got a touch on it. McCoy gets to it, though, and he flips it down the ice. Winslow races after it in his own zone with Robertson, taking hard into the boards, and he just tries to pin it there, plays it up. What a play there by Winslow. Gets it up to Christopoulos. Christopoulos now into the Pete zone. Gets it to McDonald. McDonald tried to shovel it in for Jackson, and now it's to Beck. Beck going one-on-one with Lucan. He mishandled the puck, and Van Steensel just calmly picks it up. Now Christopoulos, cross ice to Lucan. Lucan's going to take some time here, play behind his net, let his team get the personnel out that they want. And Nelson with the puck up to Jackson. Jackson flips it in deep. Zanetti with it. Tried to flip it up. Lucan got to it. Now he gets it out front. Good chance there for Ertel, but he puts it wide. Ertel gets it back out to Lucan. Lucan tries to knock it back in. Now it's to Lockhart. Lockhart coming in on Nelson. Goes back to Maie. Maie with the shot. That one was blocked and put into the corner. Pete's once again with possession. Tried to get it out front, but the Battalion with good defensive presence get it up to Ertel, and he flips it in on Simpson, chasing after it. Now the Petes have it behind their net. Spearing takes a hard hit from Ertel. Now Dubois has it. Stopped up by Wakely. But it's down the ice to Mathern. Mathern to Brskowski. Brskowski nearly gave it away, but Mathern with a good stick knocks it away from harm and gets it down for Wakely to flip it into the Pete zone. Speaking of home games, basically one for Wakely as well from Port Hope. Gets it into Petrov. Petrov skates around, leaves it for Brskowski, but Tarasevich was able to get to it as Brskowski didn't anticipate it. Smith tried to clear the zone, nearly gave it away to Wakely. And the puck's down into the Battalion zone, and that'll go for icing here with just under 6 minutes gone here in this first period.
I don't know if the puck's got a little bit extra ice on it tonight, but lots of players mishandling on both sides. And, you know, you got to wonder if that's nerves. You got to wonder if maybe it's exhaustion from playing such a long series. It could be any number of factors, but small mistakes make big opportunities for either side. It might be a case of who's going to capitalize on that.
Wakely won the draw, but the Petes got it out of the zone. Flipped back in quickly by the Battalion. Spearing now behind his net. Flips it down the ice. Christopoulos couldn't get a handle on it. Now coming in is Avon. Avon takes a shot. He scores. The Petes go up 1-0 here early in this first period.
If you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. And I guess so far Avon's got something to prove. Goes in the left side, manages to beat DiVincentis on his blocker, and not much to say besides that was a nice goal. And, you know, maybe the troops need to collapse a bit harder. Sometimes you just find a good shot. It's 1-0 with 13:52 remaining in this period.
Avon with his 5th of the season, or 5th of the postseason, his 2nd of the series. So I don't know if he's walking the walk as of yet, but he is trying to put his money where his mouth is after his comments to DiVincentis, I suppose. Play back underway. Jackson over to Romani. Romani flips it in cross ice. Procession tries to flip it back, but now Jackson gets to it. Jackson takes a shot from the point, and Simpson stops that one as he saw it all the way. Shots on goal early, 5-3 in favor of the Petes.
Yeah, quite the stark contrast from the start of the previous game where the Battalion got up early, got the pace, and so far this has been back and forth. Troops under-delivering on shots compared to last game, not overall. But, you know, it'd be nice to see a little bit more offensive zone pressure.
Smith behind his net, up to Othman. Othman slowly flips it into the Battalion end, and Winslow's going to go after it, and that'll go for icing, so the Battalion will have an offensive zone draw. One thing to keep notice of, too, in this game is in this building, the Battalion have not been great on the faceoffs either through games 3 and 4. Also, the Petes are 5-1 coming into the playoffs in this building as well. The lone loss coming in game 4 to the Battalion. And the Battalion looking to hope that the trend of whoever scores first ends here tonight. Now as they find themselves down 1-0. Smith Down the ice, flips it into the Battalion zone. It's behind the net. Nelson out to play it, flips it up for Arnsby, missed him. So Spearing now has the puck in his own zone, gets it up to Beck. Beck with a good play there, couldn't get it to go anywhere though, as Van Steensel now comes and takes the shot, and Simpson stops that one. Spearing with a bit of a spear, if you can, on Van Steensel, and then just gets a little talking to by the linesman.
It's interesting to see that so far a lot of the troops' break-ins have been right down the center with multiple guys around them, and they're still able to get a shot off. So we're wondering if that's going to be a factor, pushing in, getting those chances, and maybe one slips by.
Battalion once again on the draw, lose it in the Pete zone. Down the ice for Hislop, up for McDonald. McDonald flipping it back in. Spearing with it behind his net. Spearing up to Beck. Now quickly to Lockhart. Lockhart walking in, stops up, looks for a chance. Stillman tips it in. It's now 2-0 for the Petes here in game number 6.
Stillman just comes into this game after missing 2, finds good positioning and manages to deflect perfectly. It was a nice shot on goal. It was an even better deflection. And the Petes showing that they still got a lot of fight in them, and that maybe the past 2 games were just a fluke. Either way, they're showing early that they got tons of fight in them. 2-0, 12:49 remaining in this period. Shots 6-5.
Chase Stillman with his second goal of the postseason, his first of the series. As it's 2 players that haven't done much scoring, obviously Stillman missing a lot of time. Getting a goal here. Jackson nearly stripped Simpson of the puck, nearly got it out front. Now it is out front for Hertel. Hertel takes the shot, and that's knocked aside. Now Stillman going the other way. Stillman was looking for Smith, throws it in far side. As now another chance there by Beck is turned aside. Hertel tries to flip it down the ice. Beck keeps it in. Beck takes a shot. That one's stopped by Mathurin. Mathurin couldn't get out of his zone as the Battalion failed to get it out twice now. Jackson finally does get it out, loses it to Dubois, then tries to battle for it. Now it's out to Hertel, who takes a shot. That one's blocked. Avon up the ice, but it's Bloom who picks it off. Now it's Mathurin. Up quickly to Hertel. Hertel flips it in from the point on Simpson. He takes a hard hit from Berdeller. Now Spearing flips it out. Wakely goes after it. Wakely back to Christopoulos. Up to Petrov. Petrov goes well offside as Wakely was about a foot in the zone, and we'll get a stoppage here.
A much slower pace than the previous game so far. And it's been very back and forth and teams going for rushes, but it feels like the energy's not quite as there as it was in the previous one. Pete's making smart plays and troops doing the individual breakouts that have worked so far.
7-6 is shots on goal, although the Battalion shots, not quality shots. Nothing really coming in from the high danger areas, mostly from the outside. Although that was working the last 2 games. Dubois tries to get it down the ice. And it's flipped in, takes a weird bounce off the end wall. And Lucan gets to it. Lucan for Nelson. Nelson from behind his net. Up slowly. Flips it in for Wakely. Wakely takes the shot. That one hits a body and goes well out of play. So we'll get another stoppage here.
And as you were saying, those shots from the outside seem to be really effective. And you know, we've seen the Petes in this game try and keep the troops as far away as possible. Yes, it may have worked in one game, but you know that shots farther away are lower percentage shots, and they're playing that really well so far.
Arnsby in for the draw against Robertson. And the Petes win it. I don't know what it is about this building and faceoffs, but the Petes keep winning. Up to Hayes. It's kept in by Winslow. Winslow knocks it in, or rather, nope, just went outside the zone, so we'll get an offside call.
Lots of draws so far in the Pete's zone, the majority of them this game, and the troops just can't seem to win a faceoff to save their life at this point. But there's still lots of hockey left to play, and maybe more center ice playoff. Sorry.
Winslow over to Christopoulos. Christopoulos down to McDonald. McDonald flips it in for McCoy. McCoy from behind his net. Chased by Arnsby. Quickly up the ice for Hayes. Knocked back in. Van Steensel to McCoy. McCoy flips it back in. Robertson now chasing in. Pulled over in the corner there by by Arnsby. as he tries to inject some life into this listless troops. Now it's out front. Hayes walks, takes the shot. That one's blocked by Christopoulos. Now McDonald going down the ice. The Battalion looking dangerous here as McDonald shoots wide. Othman going the other way. Up to Hayes. Stopped. Back to Othman. Othman throws it on net. Stopped by Divinchentis. Second chance also stopped. Third chance maybe as well. Turned aside by Divinchentis. Down the ice, Lucan. Looks up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel just flips it down. Smith gets to it. Flips it back in. Now Van Steensel has it, and he decides to go for a bit of a skate. No, rather he flips it in for Romani. Romani with a sharp angle shot, and that's turned aside by Simpson. Lucan takes a hard hit from Procession. Back to Hislop. Cross ice for Petrov. Petrov with a shot. Hits a body and goes wide. Smith behind his net. Nearly lost it to Petrov. Gets it up to Stillman. Stillman walking in his own zone with it. Now he gets back down to the Battalion end. Now over to Procession. Procession lost it behind his own net. Now he pins it against the boards. And it's up to Petrov. Petrov gives it away. That goes cross ice. Tried to get a shot away was the Peets, but they couldn't. Now the Peets walk right back in. Peets trying for the wraparound, stopped by Divinchentis. Hislop with another chance. Up the ice to Petrov. Petrov going for a bit of a skate. Goes cross ice down to Romani. Romani has a lane. Romani walking in. Goes behind the net. And now it's out front. Good chance there. Turned aside from Petrov, who was point blank by Simpson. Nelson behind his net. Goes down the ice. And it's back to Bloom. Bloom chasing after it. Bloom for Spearing. Knocked away. Now it's down the ice. Nelson will chase after it. Now Nelson in his own zone. Quickly up the ice for Ertel. Ertel looking for Bloom. That pass too hot to handle for Bloom. As now Bloom picks it up on the near side half wall and battles with two Peets. Perdeller gets to it, flips it out. Brstowski avoids a hit from Avon and sends it in. Now Ertel's going to play it as it went offside. And we'll get a stoppage here. That's also our mid-period timeout as well. So with that being said, it's 2-0 Peets. Halfway through this first period, we'll be back on the other side of this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center, where the Battalion hold a 3-2 series lead against Peterborough. They find themselves down 2-0 just 11 and a half minutes into this one, though, however, on goals by J.R. Avon and Chase Stillman earlier in this period. Shots on goal also favor the Peets 11-6, a stark contrast from the start we saw from the Battalion in Game 5.
They've been finding gaps and they've been executing their plays really effectively. And so far the Battalion defense has not been able to crunch down on space. And, you know, the Peets are really, really good at creating space. And they're taking full advantage of this here. 11 shots, 2 of them going in already. Both plays starting from the left side of Dom. So we got to crunch down on that. And the troops have been making effective breakouts. Just no dice on a goal yet.
Zanetti with the puck quickly. Gets it up to Lockhart down the ice. Jackson chasing after it. Now Jackson with it. Over to Winslow. Winslow losing it to Jackson. Now it's to Bloom. Bloom. Back to Winslow. Winslow goes for a skate. Goes over for Jackson. Jackson walks in, takes a shot, stopped by Simpson. Now it's back for Winslow. Winslow in for Jackson. He missed that pass. Now it's Ertel on the far side. Back to Jackson. Jackson goes to the point for Brstowski. Now it's cross ice for Winslow. Winslow looks for the tip. Couldn't get it. Now Jackson picks it up on the far side. Jackson back to Lucan. Lucan quickly cross ice to Winslow. His pass is out of his reach. And now Lockhart springs Stillman. Stillman goes in with the shot. Turned aside by Divinchentis. And we'll get a stoppage here. And it's a penalty shot against the Battalion. So Lucan doing his job results in a penalty shot here. And the rich might get richer.
Hey, so far what we've seen in the playoffs, Dom's good on the one-on-ones and the penalty shots. You know, Lucan goes for the right play, trying to stop the stick from being able to get any access to the puck. Takes down his man, and that ends up being a penalty shot. And we will see how this plays out here. You know, we saw 3 goals for the troops in the previous game, and hopefully we're not going to see it for the Petes here. Stillman, fresh back from the 2-game suspension, going in.
Stillman picks up the puck at center ice, skates in, looks to make a move. He does, and he mishandles himself into submission, and it's into the corner. The score remains 2-0 Petes.
And Dom plays that just as he should. Stay on your man, stay tight in the net when he's moving in slow, gets the poke away. Really well played from him to keep the troops in this.
7:35 left in this first period. 12-9 shots on goal in favor of the Petes. 2-0 Petes lead. Wakely in for the defensive zone draw against Dubois. The linesman didn't like what he saw from Dubois, so now Avon coming in for the draw. Avon to the far side of DiVincentis. Wakely missed completely, and now it's back to Maillet. Maillet with a shot. That one goes well wide. Dubois on the near side. Dubois battling with Petrov. Petrov knocks the puck away. Now he's going to get called for a penalty for slashing as he knocked the stick out of the hands of Dubois. And that was something that we watched a lot in game number 4. It didn't end up playing a factor in that one. The Petes had 4 straight power plays before the Battalion even got one.
Yeah, it is interesting to look at those numbers for sure. But gotta say, the troops' penalty kill against the Petes has been overall fairly effective. Subtracted 1 goal from game 3, I believe it was, where they scored very effectively. But overall, throughout the regular season and the postseason, the troops have had a very solid penalty kill.
Lucan gets to it, but the Petes pin it up against the wall, and now they come away with it. Cross ice to White. White walking the line. Gives it right over to Lockhart. Now it's back out front to Hayes. He couldn't hold on to the pass as White gets to it. Now Othman back to White. White cross ice to Lockhart. Lockhart in tight. Petes back to Lockhart. Walks the line. Takes a shot, turned into the corner. Now it's Othman back to Lockhart. Lockhart to the top of the point. Over to White. White walks the line, throws it into the corner. And the Petes go after it. Back to Lockhart. Over for White. White takes another shot. That one went high and over the net. Now Robertson gets to it. Robertson over to Lockhart. Back to White. White goes to take a shot, goes to Othman. Now he sends it right back in for Hayes. Hayes takes a shot. That one just missed the far side of the net. Now Petes once again with possession at the goal line. Othman out front. Takes a chance. Robertson is turned aside by DiVincentis. Somehow he got the pad on that one, and he's going to cover it up. So the Battalion, it remains 0 for 1 on the power play so far, and we're 1 minute and 5 seconds in. Peterborough coming into this game is 13th out of the 16 teams that made it to the playoffs at 11.7%. 7 goals, 4 on 60 chances. The Battalion penalty kill, 7th out of those same 16 teams. 11 power play goals against on 64 chances, 82.8% for the Battalion penalty kill.
And they were doing very good at taking out any passing chances, keeping them as far away as possible until the very end there, where they get a chance out front. Dom makes the full extension and an absolutely spectacular save. He's looking focused despite the 2 goals against at this point.
Well, a little bit of trouble here for the Battalion now as Dom's being tended to by the trainer, Andrew Satchku. Robertson doesn't look like he's moving as of yet. And it looks like Dom getting up slowly and gingerly.
That's something you never want to see.
Not with this guy. Dom moving slowly. He was lifted in the game with 1 minute left for Charlie Robertson last game. That was because of Coach Houlihan wanting to avoid some shenanigans late. He's still testing things out. Knowing Dom, he's a gamer, so he's going to want to play through this. But we'll have to see if he's able to.
Maybe just a slight tweak or something on that extension. It was almost a full split, and he looks like he's back to it. So let's hope that's not a sign of things to come, but he seems ready to go.
A little bit of a different reaction than when Lucan got hurt. They actually clapped this time. Lucan was booed. Van Steensel in for the draw on the near side of DiVincentis' net. It's one back in the Battalion. Send it down the ice. Simpson stopping that. 50 seconds left on the Petrov penalty. Zanetti from behind his net. Zanetti leaves it for Avon. Avon leaves it for Zanetti. Gets it up to Beck. Beck carries it in, flips it in past the blue line. Avon chasing it. Now it's cross ice to Zanetti. Zanetti back to Beck. Beck throwing it on the end boards. It's missed wide. And now the Petes once again with possession. But Van Steensel picks it up. Van Steensel throws it down the ice. And that'll kill off some more time with now we're 15 seconds left on the man advantage. Maye scoring the game winner in game 3 with the puck behind his net. Up to Beck. Beck quickly cross ice for Avon. Avon walking in. Avon going around behind the net. Look for the wraparound attempt. Now the puck is down the ice, and that'll kill off the power play here with Spearing getting to it first. Battalion back to 5-on-5. Dubois with the puck. Dubois flipping it into the Battalion zone. Christopoulos gets to it first off the end wall. Quickly up to Jackson. Jackson going cross ice for Mathurin. Mathurin into the Pete zone. Muscles his way in. Looks for Jackson. Couldn't get the shot away as the Petes did a good job of collapsing in front of their net. Now Dubois sent it up ice looking for Page. Mathurin gets to it and sends it down the ice. Perdeller with the puck. Tried to get it past Bloom, and the Petes do. Now it's deep into Battalion territory as Hislop had it bounce off him. Behind his net, Braden Hislop with the puck. Looks up ice, gets to Jackson. Jackson skates in, takes a shot off the end wall. It bounces off. Smith in the corner, battling for it. Smith falling down on the ice. No call coming there, as now the Petes break out. Othman flipping it in for Robertson. Robertson taken off the puck by Winslow, and the puck is knocked down the ice for the Petes, and now coming in off the bench is Petrov, and he had a chance, but had it knocked into the corner. Now back to Jackson. Jackson back to the point for Winslow. Winslow in tight for Romani. Romani back to Winslow. Winslow over for Christopoulos. Christopoulos takes the shot, turned aside by Simpson, and now Beck battling with Petrov. Beck looks to go behind his net. He gets it to Smith as he reversed on Petrov, and now it's up for Beck. Beck into Battalion territory. Stops up, takes a shot. That one's off a stick and blocked. And now Christopoulos from behind his net. 3:20 left here in this first period. Pete's lead at 2-1, or 2-0 rather. 15-11 the shots on goal in favor of Peterborough. Petrov flips the puck down the ice. Goes around the end boards. Maye gets to it first as he plays it in the corner. Now Petrov trying to strip them of the puck. Loses it to Beck, though, as the puck's down to Stillman. Now Nelson flips it out. Now it's Lockhart. Lockhart keeps it in. Lockhart goes to throw the puck on net. Maye, who was sneaking in, couldn't get a shot away. Lucan to Nelson on the far side. Nelson, cross ice to Lucan. Lucan flips it down the ice, and that'll get into Pete's territory. No white. They're going to call icing there, even though Spearing had that one, but we'll see what happens there as the faceoff's going to come back into Battalion territory.
And after these two goals, the pace seemed to be slowing down on the breakouts. Both teams trying to get more and more into setups. And the troops doing a really effective final minute of that penalty kill. Looking a bit more comfortable here in the later half of the first period.
Pete's doing everything to keep their season alive for another day. Romani plays the puck. He's knocked down to the ice. Nelson looks to come in for support and is kept in that far side corner. As now we're going to get a hand pass called. And it'll be against the Petes, so it will come out of the zone here. And we'll get another face-off, but it'll be by the Battalion bench.
And we've already seen the unique bench setup in this arena be put to use here. Petrov coming off of the bench as someone else made a change to try and pick up a loose puck and get the breakaway advantage. We've seen both teams really try to utilize every small advantage so far, and it's only in the first period here. It's been really interesting to watch.
Petes win it right back into their own zone. Smith gets to it first. Tarasevich knocked to the ice as it's over to Spearing. Now over to Perdeller. Quickly up for Dubois. Hertel knocks out Perdeller. And now a shot from a sharp angle comes in on DiVincentis from Dubois. And then Avon and Christopoulos exchange some pleasantries by the net.
A little less rough and tumble so far, which I think both teams want to be aware of because it caused a lot of penalties, caused a lot of opportunities for the other team in the previous game, and we saw that even in the third period of Game 5, where both teams sort of took a step back and just tried to play out the rest of the game.
Well, the Petes knew that they were coming home regardless of that game. They didn't want to lose anyone else, although they took out Zito in the process. Christopoulos down the ice. Flips it in for Ertel. He couldn't get a shot away. And now Ertel on the far side. He's muscled off the puck. Tarasevic taken down to the ice as well. Ertel battling for it. Tarasevic still in there. Ertel looking for the loose puck as Tarasevic just has it pinned up against the boards. A couple of bodies in there as well. Zanetti in there for the Petes and Othman. They get it back, but Christopoulos just flips it right back towards the net. Missing the net. Robertson on the near side. Robertson takes down Wakely. Fans looking for a call there as Wakely took down Robertson with his stick. Near side wall now. Winslow tried to flip it in. And now it's down the ice for the Petes. And Wakely and Othman are still exchanging some pleasantries here. Othman, public enemy number 1 with the Battalion as well, as they're just going to separate and allow calmer heads to prevail. We saw Othman in Game 3 against the Battalion incite or lull Van Steensel into a fight that didn't end up being a fight. And then we saw him try to jump Avery Winslow in the last game, in which both of them got 10-minute misconducts for that.
Yeah, the Petes have been very good at drawing penalties, trying to get those advantages, trying to get inside the troops' head, and sometimes it's been working quite effectively.
Van Steensel tried to win it back, but now Hayes has it. Hayes flips it down the ice. Just over a minute left here in this period. McDonald with it in his own zone. McDonald down the ice, flips it in. Stopped up by McCoy, flipped back out. And Lucan will chase into his own zone for it. Lucan. As we're finally into the last minute here of this first period. Up to Nelson. Nelson out for Wakely. Wakely near side to Van Steensel, back to Wakely. Wakely tried to push himself in. Now Stillman gets to it and flips it right back out. Nelson aims the red line, flips it in on Simpson. As now Wakely battles for it with McCoy. Wakely tied up, tries to get to the puck. Tried to flip it back out, but Stillman gets to it and gets it past Van Steensel. Now cross ice for Beck. Beck with 30 seconds to work with, lost it to Hislop, and it's down to McDonald. McDonald walks in, takes a shot, hit a body, went wide. Now Hislop with it, tried to flip it out front for McDonald. His pass couldn't get there, and the Petes are going to send it down the ice as it's stopped up. Mathurin flips it right back down, and that's Bloom with it. Bloom to Jackson. Jackson, and we're going to have another penalty called against the Battalion here as McDonald was skating by. The Petes player had his stick held out in front of him, and it was knocked out of his hand, so now we have a penalty against the Battalion.
This is the second penalty so far this game, plus a penalty.
Plus, yep.
So it's early on, and it's hard to say anything without sounding too biased, but it has very much been called towards the men in maroon so far. So it'll be interesting to see if that evens out a little bit more like we saw in Game 4, I believe it was. But so far, troops on the receiving end of a lot of whistles.
Back to White. White walking the line. Takes a shot, turned aside by DiVincentis. The Battalion get it out, and it's going to be sent down the ice. So that'll end this first period with the Battalion down 2-0 after 20 minutes of play here. They'll have a period to reset. They'll still have 50 seconds left on the penalty kill when we come back to the Peterborough Memorial Center here on the Frontline Game Day broadcast.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canador's alumni office. Visit canadorcollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for our first intermission show. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Harrison Clements on this one, and we'll talk about our out-of-town scoreboard. Well, we know whoever the winner of this series will face in the next round. It's the London Knights, as they took down the Sarnia Sting 5-1 today, and that series ending in a 4-2 victory in favor of the Knights. And doing a bit of a deep dive here, it's 2-0 Pete's after one period. Shots on goal 17-12 in favor of the Petes. The Petes are 0 for 1 on the power play, although they still have 1 minute and 50 seconds to start in the second period on the power play. The Battalion have yet to get the chance of the man advantage. The face-offs won a little bit closer than I thought, 12-11 right now. And the goal scorers, J.R. Avons, assisted by Sean Spearing, 6:08 into the first. And then just over a minute later, Chase Stillman with his second of the playoffs, assisted by Connor Lockhart and Owen Beck. Penalties. We're going to get Alexander Lukin at 12:25. It says foul from behind, which is a penalty shot. So That's what we got there. Matvey Petrov for slashing, a minor 2 minutes at 12:39. Just shortly after that, the Battalion killed that off. And then we get Kyle McDonald at 19:49 with interference. Although the Petes kind of set him up for that one. Like, that's, I don't know, man. Like, I know, we're Battalion fans, but like, come on. Anyways.
Yeah, the Lucan call, absolutely. The slashing call, sure. That interference call was a little bit weak. But, you know, I'd rather them be calling stuff than, you know, letting things completely ride out. But, you know, maybe a bit more of a contrast to the previous game where I believe the total penalty minutes was nearing 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about mediation. You can have a little penalty as a treat.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is at this point. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't say a big shout-out to Bridget and Gabriel Ryan, who are on their way to the game listening right now. So, and also to Don Ryan, who's listening in Texas. I was told to send along a hello. Of course, you know who the hello is coming from, I'm sure. So I'm not going to give that away. I mean, you guys can figure it out a little bit. Hope you're enjoying the game so far to this point. As we're on our first intermission show, we also have some fans in the Sudbury area. Hello, Topanga and family listening into this one. Hopefully the Battalion can deliver a delicious game, just like that delicious chili hot dog that you guys sent my way picture-wise. Beats, you know what, the media booth is here, like box is good here. I mean, media booth, I should say, is good here for food, but I'd rather have this chili hot dog than...
that's a nice-looking hot dog.
Those hamburgers up there were a little bit flat, I would say.
Yeah.
Pizza was okay, because it's pizza.
Yeah, they're flat enough to give the corners a run for their money.
Whew.
It is interesting about the corners here. Like, I've watched lots of games here, but this has been mostly my experience. So when I moved to North Bay and started to experience other arenas, it was just like, oh, that's how corner wrap should actually work.
Oh, this is how hockey's supposed to be played.
Yeah, instead of every shot off the boards being a centering pass. It's it's a little bit to actually, focus your mind on, but
I don't know why that's allowed.
it's very strange.
I don't know if they're trying to keep the heritage or what, but there's obviously room in this building for you to be able to do it as a regular corner.
Yeah, it's there's lots of space.
Are they afraid to give more space around the glass for standing room? I don't get it.
I don't know.
That's my one gripe with this building. I really like this building, the Peterborough Memorial Center, but that's my one gripe where I'm like, why is it like that? And nobody I know seems to know.
It is very strange because isn't every other rink in the league pretty much uniform in size?
Yeah, Belleville was the only other one that wasn't uniform at the time.
Yeah, and, well, sadly, know how that goes.
Yeah, big Bulls fan over here.
I grew up in the Belleville area, and sad to see him go. Still got the gear, but, can't really cheer for a team that doesn't exist anymore, and I'm not cheering for Hamilton.
Brantford.
Sorry, meant no disrespect.
Who was your favorite player on the Bulls growing up?
Dude, I was like 5.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
still.
remember. I don't remember, if I'm being honest. I'm a fake fan.
Wow. Wow.
No, I watched them a lot growing up. Went away from hockey for a little bit. Came back.
Who was your favorite Pete whenever you come to the Pete's games?
Fake fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying my favorite Pete on a Battalion podcast. Are you
No,
kidding
you
me?
can. I mean, one of the color analysts for your TV is a Pete's legend,
Yeah, but...
Greg the Bursch. So, I mean, I think you're okay.
I'm going to bite my tongue.
No, go ahead. Come on.
We're having a good time in Peterborough.
Let us know in the comments if you want to hear Harrison from the Garrison's favorite Peterborough Pete player. I want to hear his favorite Peterborough Pete. And I'm going to get it out of him one way or another. Was it Eric Stahl?
It wasn't Eric Stahl.
Was it Steve Yzerman?
I'm trying to look at who was actually active when I was watching.
Oh, okay. So you genuinely don't know.
I genuinely don't know. I'm not known to lie.
Okay, so we got Rebecca who says yes, they want to hear it. Jade Station TV, yes. Ben Long dude says that he wants to hear it. So you're being pressured.
2 out of 3 valid votes.
Wow. I mean, that's fair about Ben. But I want to hear it too.
All right. Well,
You could give us a name and we'll just be like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Jimmy Pete. Roger's my favorite Pete.
Oh, well, you know what? Roger's my favorite Pete, too. He came up here and fist bumped us today. For those of you who don't know, Roger's the Pete's mascot, who's a St. Bernard.
Yeah.
And I don't know the... Ben Long brought up a very good point when we were here last. Why isn't he named Petey?
It's very strange.
I don't get the origin of Roger. And I don't get why he's a St. Bernard. But
None of it makes sense, and that kind of fits for the area. It's just like, this dog's pretty cool. Let's go for that.
I mean, as someone who grew up here, I guess you're allowed to say that, but you're really not a fan of this area.
Okay. Before you put words in my mouth, I like a lot about the area, but there's a lot of quirky things about the area.
Okay.
There's the funness of, small community, knowing people, but that also comes with a lot of weird quirks where not everything makes sense. Little things like the corner boards. Nothing necessarily bad, but little things that make it a bit different. A dog has a mascot and his name's not Pete. I'll take that. It's weird, but I'll take that.
Yeah, no, Petey was great. He came over here, fist bumped us the last game, walked down to the ice, waved the flag a few times, and he came back up. But, yeah, I don't understand. I'm not going to pretend that I understand. I'm not from the area, so I'd never been to Peterborough or this area in general. I'd never been past Casino Rama in Washago before last Tuesday.
What was it, Udney?
Udney, yeah. What a name. Udney.
It's a lot of...
Ow, I hurt my Udney. That could be kidney, it could be your knee, you don't know.
I hit my Udney off the corner boards.
Yeah, I've never been this way. And you know what? I enjoyed my day that I had in Peterborough.
It is very nice. It's fairly peaceful, especially around the locks area.
It was very nice around the locks area.
And there's a lot of cool old architecture downtown. A lot of really great local shops here. You mentioned a couple sports stores that you were swinging by last time you were in town.
Yeah, there was a Maple Moose Pub. If you're ever in Peterborough, go to the Maple Moose Pub. We might want to get them to sponsor us with how good it was. It'd be like, hey, you guys want to talk about... A lot of people on the chat now really want to know.
Oh, man. I really set myself up here.
You did. O&B, you've got it basically going on here right now. This is the live game. Unfortunately, we can't show you the ice. We got slapped on the wrist too many times for that.
Oops.
Looking at you, Harrison. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I basically showed up and immediately got people in trouble, so.
Yeah. Just under 6 minutes left until the drop of the puck for period number 2. The Pete's lead 2-0. Hope you're enjoying our scoreboard, which now is color-coded.
Yeah.
Harrison figuring that one out.
Yeah, it took me. I saw colors. I clicked on colors. It worked out, you know?
Wow. If only our regular producer could figure that out. To click on colors. Gee, how do I get colors? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't click on colors.
Square peg go in circle hole. Me smart.
That's how I. You know what? That's the thing that scares me. I'm not gonna be. If I ever have kids, I'm not gonna be a good dad. I'm gonna be like, the star shape goes in the circle. Yes.
Just use baseball analogies.
There we go. There we go. First base, you run like heck. Second base, you run like heck. Third base, you run like heck. Home, you run like heck. Just what I'm telling you, kid, is just keep running.
You're gonna. I'm not gonna.
Maybe you shouldn't ever be a dad.
Oh, definitely not.
Night Kitchen Pizza is a must in Peterborough.
Night Kitchen? That's awesome. It sounds like an 80s action show.
It does. So there's a place here called Peter Burgers. And I was like, that's a good name for a restaurant. Like, I'll give it to you. We almost went there, and then I saw Maple Moose Pub, and I was like, okay, that place looks like a vibe. Like, because I Googled it, right? And then, oh, here we go. Matt Sukram says, after sorting through hundreds of suggestions, the committee came to the conclusion that the name Roger was the perfect one. Named in memory of Roger Nielsen, this furry friend, well beloved by all as Roger was in the hockey world. Roger was an avid dog lover himself and was often seen with his dog at the rink. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
That makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Petey, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's right there. Come on. Speaking of which, Roger's on the ice now, tossing shirts, and I've never seen a dog with that good of an arm before.
Yeah, speaking of baseball, sign him up.
Yeah, they're usually on the other end of playing fetch.
Until the Blue Jays just took it to the Pittsburgh Pirates the last couple of games. The Blue Jays could have used somebody like Roger out there. Anyways, with that being said, you've heard us ramble enough. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, and we'll be back on the other side of this with the second period action between the North Bay Battalion and Peterborough Petes.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family. I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for period number 2 of game number 6. The Peterborough Petes currently have a 2-0 lead on the North Bay Battalion through the first 20 minutes played. The Battalion lead the series 3-2. If necessary, game 7 will be played tomorrow night at North Bay Memorial Gardens at 7 o'clock because the OHL likes to torture us as we have to go to work tomorrow after driving back from Peterborough and then go to a hockey game right after if that's the case.
Hey, there's worse punishments in life to have.
There is,
you know,
but I also like my sleep.
I do too. I'm not looking forward to not having much of it, but you know, depending on the outcome of this game, my opinion might change a little bit.
He is Harrison Clements, otherwise known as Harrison from the Garrison. Check him out on TikTok. Check him out on our socials as well, as he recaps almost, if not all, of the Battalion games, although it gets a little bit hectic as well during these back-to-back scenarios like game 3 and 4 was here. As we get set here for period number 2. The Battalion still have 1 minute and 50 seconds to kill off on a Kyle McDonald penalty at the end of that first period for air quotations interference.
Yeah.
It's 3-0 on the penalty calls for the Petes right now, although they haven't been able to score as of right now on the man advantage. Excuse me.
And so far, troops successful on their first penalty kill, successful on their first penalty shot block, and hopefully that will continue here. Minute 50 remaining in that penalty.
And the puck is dropped, and we are underway in period number 2 as the Battalion win the puck back into their own zone. They flip it down the ice. Battalion and their road whites are going left to right this period. The Petes and their home Maroons are going right to left as the Petes come out of their zone, leaving it in the neutral zone for Othman. Othman quickly over for Lockhart. Lockhart to White, back over for Lockhart, in for Hayes. Hayes cross ice for Robertson. What a save by Divinchentis. Christopoulos knocking down Robertson as Divinchentis came over with the pad and was able to get a piece of that one and turn it aside. Now Hayes looks to go cross ice for Othman. Othman couldn't get a shot away as a good skate there by Arnsby knocked that one aside. Just over a minute left on the man advantage. Othman at the point. Othman throwing it in on net. Turned to the side, flipped out front, and no one was there for Peterborough as Arnsby gets to it, sends it down the ice, and hits former teammate Brendan Othman as the pair of them used to play on the Don Mills Flyers together a few seasons ago. 50 seconds left on the man advantage for Peterborough. Avon, one of the goal scorers in that first period, goes behind his net. J.R. Avon leaving it for Maye. Maye picks up the puck from behind his own net, skates down the ice. Maye couldn't get it deep into the Battalion zone. Winslow tried to knock it back out. Now he gets to it, and he flips it right back out, and that'll go out. And it looks like they're going to pick up a delay of game penalty here against the Battalion, Avery Winslow, because, well, that one's pretty black and white. You can't really argue that one too much as he threw it right out. So over 25 seconds, the Petes with a gift here on the 5-on-3. They were able to convert on a long 5-on-3 chance yesterday, but it ended up being just the regular power play in game number 5 that they did end up scoring on. But now the Battalion in a bit of a pickle here early with McDonald still in the box for 25 seconds.
And that's the thing, is even if you are able to kill off these penalties effectively like they had, you're going to be tired.
Back to Othman, to White. White over for Othman. Othman fake shot. Now it's back to White. White over for Hayes. Hayes fake shot as well. Now he does take a shot. It's off Lucan's skate and wide. Now Othman back to the point for White. White walks in. Over for Hayes. Hayes tries to walk into the slot. Couldn't get past Lucan. Now it's in tight for Robertson. Robertson in deep. Now McDonald comes back out, gets to the loose puck. He's tied up. Couldn't get the shot away, and now goes cross ice. Robertson couldn't pot the goal. Battalion killing off the first penalty. Now it's up and out of the zone and onto Hayes' helmet. And McDonald's able to keep it in the Pete zone and chase after it. Minute 15 left on the penalty to Winslow. And Beck skates back towards the Battalion territory. Goes cross ice for Robertson. Robertson nearly lost it to his future Kraken teammate Nelson. Now they do. And Nelson gets it down the ice. And Simpson's out to play it. Tarasevich out there as well. Robertson with the puck, loses it to Tarasevich, but White picks up the loose puck quickly. Under a minute left on the man advantage. White taken hard into the boards by Mathurin. Nelson gets to it. Nelson flips it quickly down the ice, and I'll kill off some more time. Simpson touches it up behind his net and leaves it in the no-play zone for Avon. 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Zanetti looking up ice, goes for a skate. Sends it cross ice now to Beck. Beck over for Stillman. Stillman back to the point for Beck. Beck looks to take a shot. That one's blocked by the Battalion. Now Nelson tried to flip it away. Couldn't get it away from Stillman. Stillman back to Zanetti. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. In deep. Back out to Zanetti. Zanetti takes a shot. That one missed the net wide, and Van Steensel's going to get to it. Tried to flip it out, but a weak attempt is stopped at the blue line. Now it's Beck. Beck walking in. Look to take a shot. Now a chance goes wide of the net. And the Battalion get out of their zone, and with Winslow back on the ice, we're back to 5-on-5 for the first time here, as we're almost 4 minutes in to this second period. Jackson with the puck, up the ice quickly for Romani. Romani in deep, tried to drop it back for Jackson. Jackson wasn't there. Robertson over for Lockhart. Lockhart for Avon. It was well behind him. He flips it cross ice, and the Petes get to it, but now the Battalion recover. Hislop sends it out front for Christopoulos. Now it's in tight for Perdeller, who's turned aside by Divinchentis. Jackson in the near side corner. Battling for it. As that's Dubois who tried to come out with it. Now Romani gets a cross ice for Petrov. Petrov flips it into the Pete zone. And that's going to go for icing. As fans here in attendance are also calling for icing as well.
Really effective penalty kill. Heads up play from McDonald out of the box. Tie up his man. Try and swipe the puck away. Either way, clears the zone. Troops get more time in the offensive zone when they're defending on the penalty kill. It looked really good, keeping the shots far away. A couple got in close, but they managed to get in front of the pucks and stop any solid opportunities. Dom looking tight as well.
Face off to the far side of Divinchentis. And the Petes win it to Smith. Smith takes a shot. Divinchentis stops that one, kicks it into the corner. Dubois battling with it for Hislop, gets it to Jackson. Now Hislop has to chase after as Paget tries to get to it. Christopoulos with the puck. Slowly up the ice. Gets it to Petrov. Petrov takes a bit of a hard hit there from Perdeller, as he just saw a Mack truck coming at him and got out of the way quickly. Hislop up the ice for Jackson. Jackson looks for some options, decides to get in the red line and flip it into Pete's territory. Now it's Peterborough with possession. Back for Romani. Romani to Maye. Peterborough once again with possession. Get it up the ice to Hayes. Hayes goes cross ice. Walking in as Lefebvre takes a shot. That one's well over the net. And now, flip back out. Nelson chases after it. White gets to it, though, in his own zone. Going down the ice to Robertson. Robertson in the Battalion territory on the near side wall, battling with Mathurin. Robertson gets it back, and it's flipped out front. Divinchentis stretches out front. Takes a whack from Othman. Now Mathurin comes in for some help as well, as Othman was in there whacking out the puck late from Divinchentis. So Divinchentis gave him a whack, and that started a little bit of a melee in front of the net.
Little bit, but still less rough stuff than we saw in the previous game so far. And I'll be curious to see if that picks up at all, if both teams are going to try and keep cooler heads, as this game means so much.
Oh, guess what? Mathurin's going in the box.
Okay. That's cool. Okay.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's curious. That's how nicely I'll put it. That's curious.
Othman's getting the Brant Clark treatment this series. He keeps getting away with things. I don't think he's been penalized once outside of his 10-minute misconduct. And he's a dirty customer, is the best way to put it.
Well,
So the Battalion on the penalty kill once again with Mathern in the box. Oh, no, Othman is in the box, so it's going to be 4-on-4. Spoke too soon. Look at that. Winslow tries to get it up to McDonald. Now he gets it to Arnsby. Arnsby walking in. Takes a shot, turned aside by Simpson, and it goes wide. McDonald, cross ice now for Christopoulos. Christopoulos was trying to walk in. Had the puck come off his stick. He blows a tire trying to get the puck back in deep, and now the Petes go the other way. Avon into Battalion territory. Good stick there by Winslow, knocks it away. Now Beck with it. Beck. Cross ice for Maye. Maye holding up Arnsby. No call coming. The Battalion bench looking for it. Even Ryan Houlihan looking a little red in the face right now. McDonald walks in. McDonald tried to walk his way in. It's back to Nelson. Takes a shot. Simpson with a save there. And we'll have a stoppage here.
Good.
So we get a big, huge interference over there. Another's called, but whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games. I feel like I've been saying that a lot when it comes to the later playoff series. Didn't happen a ton in Mississauga, happened more and more in Barrie, and it's happened a lot in this series. Both ways, honestly, but especially in this barn.
Bloom won it, but the Petes get possession behind their net. It's the other thing that the Petes have done so well in these games against the Battalion here in Peterborough is not allow the Battalion much time on possession in the offensive zone. Lucan taken hard into the boards by Spearing, knocked down to the ice, and the puck is out. And now we'll get a stoppage here as Lucan's helmet's on the ice, so Spearing, and it looks like the Battalion are going to get their first man advantage of the game, as I believe Spearing is being called, likely for roughing. That's the thing that I find so comical here is that in Game 4 and Game 3, the fans were on the refs to make calls for the Petes, and they did. They did. But then whenever the Battalion got like the rare call, then they got angry.
It was very audible. I wasn't here for that one, but could definitely hear it on the broadcast. And, you know, that's a call that's hard to ignore. The guy's helmet comes off. You got to at least look at what happened.
Jackson in for the draw on the face-off for the far side of Simpson. Petes won it and flip it quickly down the ice. And so far in the power play, the Petes on the penalty kill, the second best penalty kill in the playoffs at 88.1%. They've given up 5 goals on 42 chances. The Battalion on the power play are fourth as they try to get a chance there. That was Nelson. Battalion are fourth, 16 power play goals and 65 chances. Good for 24.6% as the puck is down the ice quickly for DiVincentis out to play it. Leaving it for Nelson. 4-on-3 here for the Battalion. Petrov up to Jackson. Jackson skates it in for McDonald. McDonald was looking to leave it, but no one was behind him, so he sends it around the end boards for Petrov. Petrov walks the top of the line, leaves it for Nelson. Nelson back over for Petrov. Petrov to Nelson. Nelson near side for Jackson. Jackson back to Nelson. Back to Jackson. And we're back to 5-on-4 now as Avon's going to join the penalty kill and Mathern's going to get off quickly. And the puck now is left behind. Romani comes out. And the Petes just slow things down, send it down the ice. And Avon's going to be the first one on that. Avon now behind the net. Lost it though. He's going to get it back. As now the Petes try to get the puck out of the deep into the Battalion zone. And Petrov with a giveaway to Avon. Avon walking in, couldn't get around Nelson. And now Nelson throws him hard into the boards and Petrov picks up the puck. Over for Jackson. 30 seconds remain on the man advantage. Jackson up to McDonald. McDonald takes a shot. That one's over the net. And it comes out, kipped in by Winslow. And Winslow nearly blew a tire, and he does. But he didn't give it away. McDonald in deep for it. And the puck comes out to Hayes. Hayes flipping it down the ice with 14 seconds left on the man advantage. DiVincentis out to play the puck. Leaves it for Winslow. Winslow with 5 seconds left on the man advantage. Slowly up the ice. And now it's to Ertel. Ertel threw it in. Simpson tried to bat it away, missed it. Well, the puck's behind the net now, and the Petes send it down the ice. That'll go for icing since we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. And we'll get another stoppage here.
Not really able to get anything going on the power play there. Had a couple setups, didn't really get any clear shots. Did a good effort at keeping it in, but nothing really solid going on there. Pete's doing a really good job clearing it, holding it for a few extra seconds in their zone, just doing what seems to be almost everything right on that penalty kill, and even holding the troops in their zone and getting a couple chances themselves off of some misplays.
Face-off coming in the Pete zone on the near side. Wakely with a shot, missed the net. Brostowski takes a hard hit but keeps the puck in. Now the Petes get to it again. McCoy battling with Hertel. Tries to go around the net. Bloom was there, leaves it out front for Page. And now Page flips it down the ice for Dubois. Dubois couldn't hold on to it, and Hislop gets to it on the near side. Up to Brostowski. Brostowski down the ice, flips it in. He's going to come behind the net. And Simpson's going to play it to the near side. Flip back around by Lockhart to Stillman. Tried to keep it in with Lukin, and now it's down the ice quickly for Beck. Beck into the Battalion zone. Gets around Nelson, takes a shot. That one went high over the net. And now Hertel launches the stick of Lockhart out of his hands as he came back to play the puck. His body got in there, and that's what happened there, slamming it into the boards. Arnsby tried to flip the puck out, gives it away to Stillman. Stillman goes near side to Beck. Arnsby tries to get a chance at it again, and now it comes in for Stillman. Stillman couldn't get it past Arnsby, and now it's to Lukin. Now in deep for Lockhart. Lockhart threw it out front. That was a good stop by Divincentis as he got a stick on it. Now it's to Nelson. Nelson gains the red line, flips it into the Pete zone, and we're halfway through the second period. 22-14, the shots in favor of the Petes, up to Othman. Othman, cross ice to Hayes. Hayes in for Maillet. Maillet takes a sharp angle shot, missed the net. Now Robertson in deep. Robertson with the puck goes cross ice to Othman. Othman was looking out front for Hayes, and his pass didn't make it through. Now Procession up the ice quickly to Van Steensel. Van Steensel flips it in. Procession chasing after it. Procession in deep, battling for the puck in the corner. As the puck comes out, now we're going to get a penalty against the Battalion once again, as Procession takes his man down in the corner with Othman. Surprise, surprise, Brendan Othman.
It's hard to beat the same drum over and over again, but it's always the favorite customer here, and it's been a myriad of different Battalion players getting called. I don't know if it's just, oh man. What's that?
Either way, the Battalion will find themselves shorthanded once again. It's kind of hard to win a game when you're on the defense all the time, boys, although you did score some shorthanded goals here in the last game.
Yeah, Owen Van Steensel with that one, and it's been quite an effective penalty kill so far, but you're going to get tired when you're always playing on the back foot. The shots are going to start to climb. More and more chances are going to go against you. And, you know, you got to find a way to play against the way you're being called. You know, it can be upsetting the way that things are being called against you, but you have to fight back in spite of that. And we're starting to see a bit more of that in this period. A bit more physicality along the boards. A bit more taking advantage of, you know, the way that things are going. And we will be back after this period sponsor.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we are back with the face-off on the far side of Divincentis. Arnsby in for the draw against Robertson. And the Battalion win it quickly out of the zone. As now, so it'll be Procession in the box for 2 minutes for high sticking. So the Battalion will have to kill off another penalty, in case you're just joining us. Puck in deep for Divincentis. Divincentis out to play it. It doesn't go very far, but Arnsby does get it up to the blue line and no further, as Stillman's skates kept it in. Now Stillman, doing the Battalion a favor, flips it out of the zone, and Robertson picks it up in his own zone. Tucker Robertson down the ice. Avon skates in. That was definitely offside and was called as such. And here's my thing. I said this to Ben Long in the other game. It's not that I have a problem with the Battalion, with the penalties the Battalion are taking, because they are penalties. Except for maybe the McDonald interference. My problem is that it's not even. My problem is that the Petes, you want to tell me they're playing a clean game, right?
I couldn't tell you that honestly.
They're not. Especially with a guy like Brendan Offman out there. Yeah. Artell in for the draw, loses it, but McDonald almost had a chance shorthanded, but White gets to it in his own zone. A minute 15 left on the man advantage here for Peterborough. Down the ice, Peterborough flips it into the Battalion zone. Christopoulos battling for it. And now it's behind the net. Peterborough, Lockhart, far side to Othman, back to the point for White. White over for Othman, looking to take a shot, couldn't get that one to convert for him. And now, sent back in by Hayes, behind the net. Christopoulos battling for it. It comes back out to Lockhart on the near side. Hayes, back to the point for White. White flipping it in. And that's Beck with it at the side of the net. Couldn't find a partner to pass to. Now it's back to White. White skates the line. 30 seconds left. Beck with the shot. That was knocked aside by a Battalion player who blocked that shot. And now the Battalion get the puck down the ice with 25 seconds left on the man advantage here. White with the puck in his own zone behind his net. Slowly up the ice to Othman. Othman for Spearing. Spearing loses it. Now Bloom going the other way. Josh Bloom walks in, takes a shot, he scores! Josh Bloom, shorthanded, cuts the lead in half. It's a 2-1 game.
Bloom is back, shorthanded. This is a fantastic shot. Converts on a really bad mistake. Goes in the right side, looks top blocker, and rips this around the rim. Beautiful shot. 2-1, a one-goal game now. Bloom scoring early in the previous, and he's scoring even better now.
Josh Bloom with his fourth of the playoffs. It's also his second of the series. It's now a 2-1 hockey game here in Peterborough with 7:44 left in this second period. 5 seconds until Procession rejoins the team as he beat Simpson real clean on that shot. You're going to see that one later. Perdeller battling for it. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey with Procession back out on the ice. Arnsby gets to it in his near corner. We'll have to see if that goal gives the Battalion some extra life here as they played the piece to a stalemate after those quick 2 goals. Although Winslow nearly gave it away to Avon, but he picks it back up in his own zone after a good play by Nelson. Now it is given away to Perdeller. Perdeller with a shot. And DiVincentis has 2 awful giveaways by Avery Winslow in his own zone. Nearly result in a goal, but DiVincentis bailing out his defenseman there.
Yeah, that was a myriad of very strange and careless plays, but Dom, staying solid, manages to keep on top of it and not blow the momentum that the troops have just started to pick back up.
Wakely in for the draw on the far side of DiVincentis, along with Dubois. It's one back to Mathern. Mathern behind his net, stops up and goes the opposite way. Mathern down the ice for Van Steensel. He chips it in, chasing after it. Smith taken hard into the boards by Romani, and the Petes pick up the puck once again. Now left for Wakely. Wakely over for Van Steensel. He just put that one high and over the net. No one here has been hotter than Owen Van Steensel the last couple of games. Scoring 2 here in Game 4 and another one in Game 5. As now the puck down the ice for the Petes. Avon with some speed, can't get past Mathurin though, as that's a good defensive play. And then he takes his man down. Puck quickly down into the Petes territory. Romani walking in, tries to leave it for Van Steensel. He does. Van Steensel back over for Romani. And now Robertson gets to it. Robertson with the puck in his own zone. Slowly out of his own zone. Now he turns on the Jets a little bit, gains the Battalion blue line. Skates around, takes a sharp angle shot, missed the net. Othman got to it. Othman threw it back on net, and he takes a hard hit from McDonald. Now it's Nelson. Goes behind his net for Lucan. Lucan quickly up the ice for Van Steensel. Van Steensel flips it out of the zone. Othman jumps up and grabs that, throwing it cross ice. And the puck back into the Battalion zone for Nelson. Nelson, nifty little move, gets it over to Lucan. Lucan down the ice, hits Petrov, so no icing there. As now, behind the net is McCoy. McCoy up for McDonald as he gives it away. And now Petrov has his stick knocked out of his hands, looking around for a call on that one. Doesn't get it. Goes back to the bench, picks up his stick. which is knocked out of his hands by Christopoulos. Now McDonald walking in, avoids a hit, but Othman did get one on him eventually. Over to Jackson. Jackson looking back for McDonald, and Stillman gets to it, flips it down the ice. McDonald in his own zone. Flips the puck up quickly for Petrov. Petrov over for McDonald. McDonald skates in, takes the shot. That one's blocked there by Maillet. And going the other way are the Petes as Paget, or rather Lockhart, tried to flip it over Christopoulos. And now the Battalion in the corner, but it comes to the Petes. Stillman goes cross ice for Maillet. Maillet took the shot, blocked by Winslow. Lockhart with it. And now Beck has it behind the Battalion net. Beck knocked into the boards by Christopoulos to Jackson. Jackson for Petrov. Petrov out for Winslow, who flips it out for Hertel. Hertel gains the Pete zone, throws the puck, tries to go in deep, but it's knocked back into the boards. Now he's knocked down, and he looks like he didn't really enjoy that encounter as he's slow to get up. As the Petes, once again, have possession. Peterborough for Dubois. Dubois' tip hits the netting and comes way out of play. 4:20 left here in the second period. It's a 2-1 game.
Starting to get a bit of their mojo back, starting to get more space on their breakouts. Couple shots not quite going the troops' way, but getting a few more opportunities. He's still getting in front of those shots, and Hertel fighting hard in the corner there, goes down, is able to get off on his own. Maybe just caught an errant stick or something like that in a scrum, but good to enter the zone. Good fight.
Battalion with the first possession on the face-off, but Mathurin gives it away to Avon. Takes a backhand chance on DiVincentis, stops it up. And then the players decide to talk about some world affairs after the whistle. And the referees quickly get in there and say, let's leave that to the UN, gentlemen.
Yeah, I missed the G20 summit meeting for Peterborough, Ontario. I would not want to attend that.
No, me neither. I think I'll pass.
To be fair, I wouldn't want to meet at one in North Bay either.
I wouldn't want to be at one anywhere. Let's put it that way. Puck drop to the far side of DiVincentis. And it's Hislop that gets to it. Hislop goes for a skate. Flips it down to the Pete zone after he gains the red line. Bounces back out. Pete's pick it up. Now looking to go down the other way. That's going to go for icing against Peterborough as it missed everybody. And Christopoulos is the first one back. So the Battalion are going to have their offensive zone draw with just under 4 minutes left here in the second period. 2-1 Peterborough leads. 26-25 also on the shot total for Peterborough.
26-15. And
sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. Dude, whatever.
There's so much going on, man.
Numbers. Let's do that hockey. Wakely in for the draw on the near side of Simpson. Back from Maillet. Maillet flips it out of the Battalion zone. It's caught by Winslow, and he gets it down to his stick and flips it back up for Wakely. But the Petes quickly get possession and send it right back to Battalion territory. Nelson now with it to Winslow. Winslow, his chance hits the skate of Hayes and goes over the glass and out of play. So I'll get another stoppage here with 3:40 left in this second period.
It seems like as the periods wind down, each team tries to go for more stretch passes, seems to go for more dump chase, try and get something going, and it's resulted in a lot of stoppages, grinding momentum to a halt.
Nelson in for Lucan. Lucan, he's taken down hard by Beck, takes Beck down with him, and now it's Romani on the near side wall over to Wakely. Wakely looks to go for a skate, gains the red line, flips it down off the kick plate. Spearing gets to it first. Now Lucan's going to go off as he looks a little uncomfortable. Puck goes back behind the net. Up the ice now for Peterborough. And that's going to be Dubois, who took a backhand chance there. Turned aside by DiVincentis. Now Romani out to the middle of the ice for Van Steensel. Van Steensel tried to flip it past Lockhart. Now he takes Lockhart down, and Wakely gets to it. Now it's back to Christopoulos, who just keeps it in. Christopoulos over for Van Steensel. Van Steensel tried to flip it out front, and instead it's going to hit Simpson, and Simpson's going to glove it down. Now Wakely and Dubois, well, they still want the G20 summit to continue, so they start talking about world affairs again after the whistle.
Yeah, lots of meetings on the mines happening, and as we didn't see a lot of scrums around the net in the first half of the game so far. It seems as the stakes seem to be getting a bit tighter, and the reality of what the future of this game may hold comes into closer view, that people, the tensions are heating up here, and people are getting closer to the goalies, so we're gonna have to see if that results in something similar to the previous game where it starts to boil over a bit.
Face-off coming to the far side of Simpson. Jackson in for the Battalion. Wins it back, but it couldn't get back to the blue line, but McDonald does get possession of it. Now it's to Winslow. Winslow tries to flip it back in. Smith tries to flip it back out. And it is out. And now Avon showing with speed to burn. Takes a shot. DiVincentis kicks that one aside. Jackson gets to it. He's knocked down hard. And now it's in deep again for Jackson on the near side half wall, battling with Robertson. Robertson back to the point. Smith throws it on net. DiVincentis with a glove save there. Stops that one from getting through. And we'll get another stoppage here.
2:26 remaining. Shots 27-16 in favor of the Petes. Last few minutes have been very back and forth. Both teams going for rushes. Both teams getting about a shot off. Play dies. Face off. Goes back the other way. And I think it may be more of a, let's see how the period goes out. Troops still fighting for another goal to tie this thing up.
Battalion with possession off the defensive zone draw. Winslow gets it up to Hertel, who flips it into Pete's territory. And now it's battle in the near side corner. Lockhart comes away with it. Lockhart flips across ice to Othman. Othman sends it down the ice. Christopoulos is going to get there, although that was very close, so maybe a call going North Bay's way, as Beck looked like he had the inside track on that one.
Hey, when icings have been called so frequently here and it's going to get close to call, that people may be a little bit jumpier on the whistles. Clear icing call might become a little bit muddier. Either way, it's a draw on the right side in the Pete zone.
Jackson once again in for the draw. Petrov in shooting territory. Takes the shot. That one's blocked out front by McCoy. As that face-off play worked almost to perfection. Now it's Christopoulos. Goes cross ice to Nelson, throwing it on net. Simpson saw that one, gloving it down with under 2 minutes left now. We'll get another stoppage here. As these final few minutes, like you mentioned, just kind of ground to a halt here.
Yeah. Am I watching hockey or basketball?
I remember the last minute of the Toronto Raptors Game 6 against Golden State. Took like 5 minutes to play.
Oh my goodness.
That was in the finals though, of course, and that ended up being the game that the Raptors won to secure the championship, but yeah, that took a long time.
Well, not quite the same stakes here, but a lot at stake. Minute 54 remaining. Shots now 29-17 Pete's.
Jackson once again in for the draw. Wins it back. Petrov tried to swipe at it, but he missed it. So the puck is out of the zone, and Christopoulos has it in his own zone. Christopoulos for McDonald, who flipped it in, or rather it's flipped back into Battalion territory, as now Dubois and Nelson meet behind the net. Nelson battling hard in the corner. Pete's trying to come away with it. Nelson gets it up the ice to Petrov. Petrov quickly for Christopoulos. Christopoulos tries to will the puck forward. He does, but Robertson picks it up in the neutral zone. Now Smith with it. Smith flipping it down the ice. Stopped up by Nelson, who just flips it right back into Peterborough territory. Smith stopping it up for his man, as now Avon flips it into Battalion territory for Robertson. Robertson tries to push to the net. Stopped by DiVincentis. Now Van Steensel has it. Van Steensel looks down the ice. Gets it up to Romani. There will be no icing there, as Romani's the first one on that. Now back to Arnsby. Arnsby goes cross ice looking for either Romani or Van Steensel. It comes to Van Steensel, who goes cross ice looking for Arnsby. Arnsby back to Hislop. Back to Arnsby. Arnsby takes a shot from a sharp angle, hit a body and went wide. Now Romani with a good chance. They score! The Battalion tie it in the final minute of the second period here. Anthony Romani on the doorstep. And we're tied at 2.
They push in, they get control of the back corners, they move the puck around, making a lot of good space, going cross ice to cross ice. They managed to put it on net, keep digging off of the weird bounce from the backboards, and this is now a tie game.
Anthony Romani with his 6th goal of the playoffs. That's also his 2nd goal of this series with 46.3 seconds left. And we have a tied hockey game. Of course, we're going to get a look at it here, but it looks like We are good to go, as it is 2-2 on the board now. Anthony Romani with one of the biggest goals of his career thus far, and wow, what a goal for the Battalion. Winslow tries to swipe the puck in. Stillman kept him away from that one. Now Arnsby going after it again. Beck to it first. It's to Stillman. Stillman down the ice. Gains the Battalion zone, takes a shot. DiVincentis covers that one up on the glove and stops it. Now we get another mini G20 here out in front as Romani has some words for his man out front. And that's what Ryan Willihan said in the post-game press conference yesterday about, Tarasevich, Arnsby, and Van Steensel. This is their type of game. Well, now they're playing with Romani due to the absence of Zito. The lines have been mixed up. And this is the type of series for this line. The playoff hockey is for the grind-out goals. And we've seen this line come to life and basically be that top line for the Battalion here in this third round series.
Arnsby's been extremely physical, always has been. Van Steensel digging deep, been very, very good on those plays.
Up to Hertel. Hertel, cross ice to Winslow. Winslow back over for Hertel. Hertel walks in, makes a move, takes a sharp angle shot. That one found iron, but not meshing. Now out front, the Battalion tried to get to it. 10 seconds left here in this second period, and the puck's dropped down for Robertson, who took a shot well high out of the net. And with 4 seconds left, now 2, the Petes have one last chance. They tried to take a shot, but it's blocked by Wakely. So after 40 minutes of play, we're exactly where we started this game at, and that's tied. This time it's 2-2. There's been 4 goals in this game, 2 on either side. And after 40 minutes of play, we go to the locker rooms, all tied up. I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Harrison Clements. We'll be back on the other side of this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcast.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here in downtown Peterborough, because where else would the Peterborough Memorial Center be? Not North Bay, that's for sure. It's been a bit of a drive here today between Harrison and myself getting here. I'm Courtney Kenny, he's Harrison Clements. Looking around the league, well, only one other game as the London Knights defeating the Sarnia Sting 5-1. So London now awaits the winner of this series in the OHL Championship Series. So it could be a doozy between the Knights and or Battalion and Pete's.
And it's been a doozy here.
It has been. We'll do a bit of a dive here before we get back to talking. 2 goals in that period, both scored by the Battalion. It's 2-2 after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal, 14-6 in favor of Peterborough, and it's 31-18 altogether for Peterborough. Faceoffs won, 26-18 in the game overall. The Pete's 0 for 4 on the power play. The Battalion 0 for 1. So, well, but the Battalion do have a shorthanded goal, as Josh Bloom scored at the 12:16 mark of that period, unassisted as of right now on this on the OHL app. Anthony Romani with his 6th of the season, postseason, I should say, assisted by Liam Arnsby and Braden Hislop. With under a minute left to tie the game at 2. In the second, there was a delay of game penalty by Avery Winslow, 1 minute and 26 seconds in. Then Tanias Mathern for roughing, 5:15 in. Sean Spearing got roughing at the same time. Then Brendan Othman for slashing at 6:18. Then Ethan Procession for high sticking at 10:27 of that period. And that would be, the Ethan Procession penalty would be when Josh Bloom would score the icebreaker for the Battalion in this one. So that's where things stand after 40 minutes of play. We're all tied up at 2 here at the Peterborough Memorial Center. Battalion win, they hoist the Bobby Orr Trophy. Peterborough wins, well, we got a Game 7 tomorrow.
And, that car ride home is going to be a lot longer if that's the case, because we know we got a full day of work ahead of us and a full day of work at night. So, it's been an interesting pace by the Battalion, especially in this second period here. We're used to seeing them either go really fast or play slow and solid, and it's been an interesting mix of being on the back foot because of the penalty kill, and then finding small moments in which they're able to break into the zone, set up a bit better, and then fight at the front of the net, which is how they got their second goal of the game.
It is indeed. Also just want to give a shout out to Maritime Maniacs, Ty Nelson's cousins from the East Coast. Of course, his cousins from the West Coast also tuning in. Also Brady Leavold hopping in. Brady Leavold, a big supporter of the Battalion program as well, with puck support and doing some wonderful work with mental health around the hockey community. So I just want to give him a bit of a plug. Go check out his YouTube account at Hockey to Hell and Back as well. But yes, big back half of that period for the Battalion, with Josh Bloom and Anthony Romani scoring with under 10 minutes left, and then Romani getting his equalizing goal with less than a minute left. And you talk to a lot of coaches, a lot of them hate getting scored on in the first minute or last minute of a period, because it either sucks out all the momentum for a few minutes in that period, or it sucks out the momentum going into the next period. And now you have to sit for 20 minutes, or 18 minutes in this case, well, another 11 minutes here, and stew on that last goal that was just given up by the Petes.
Yeah, if you're the team that gets scored on, you have to sit with that. That moment's still fresh in your mind. You're thinking about what happened, but also, if you're the team that just scored, you have to wait 20 minutes before you get rolling again.
That's true.
Especially when you're tied up in such a close game like this. So it really works against both teams if you look at it from a certain perspective.
Aside from a few moments, or a minute in that first period where the Petes scored both their goals, the Battalions have done a really good job of limiting the Petes' danger chances. Of course, they still have a lot of shots, but the Battalion have done a good job of boxing out the front of their net and getting the play to the perimeter, something that the Petes were successful in doing through almost the first 30 minutes of that game. And then they allowed Josh Bloom with an absolute snipe from above the faceoff dot. And then for whatever reason, that puck just sat there for Romani to get it past Michael Simpson, and no one reacted until Arnsby skated behind the net and saw it in the net.
Yeah, well, we've seen Simpson give up quite a few rebounds. He's been making really great saves throughout this game, looking better than the game on Friday. But the rebounds haven't coming out. The Battalion must have noticed that, charged the net, and were able to convert on that to tie the game up. Now, when it comes to the Battalion side of things, Dom has looked sharper than he did earlier in this game. He's been pouncing on rebounds. There's a little bit of a snafu after making a really fantastic stretch pass, but it's good to see that doesn't seem to be slowing him down or a major problem at this point of the game.
Yeah, coming into this series, the goaltending was always going to be a focus point. And really, aside from games 4 and 5, in which the Battalion won handedly, they won, by multiple goal margins in both those games. And then, Chase Simpson from the net. It has been a goaltending duel through the first few games of the series, and no different than as here as well. As Simpson's made some sharp saves, Divinchettis has made a lot of sharp saves. As we mentioned, good to see him able to continue in this one, because I don't know if you want to in fairness to Charlie Robertson, throw him out there in a game like this. He got some playoff minutes, or a minute, under his, wings in the last game, but that was when it had all well been won, and it was the final minute. I don't think he faced a shot. But in fairness to Charlie Robertson, to come in here in a hostile situation, and try to make some saves when he hasn't played in about a month or so, that'd be a really tough situation for the young goaltender.
Well, I think it's tough at any level, You're sitting for quite a few games, You're getting your practices in.
Oh, yeah, don't tell me right now. Joseph Wool's in net for the Leafs, so.
Oh, yeah, well, funny enough, I was going to bring up Boston,
Yeah.
They looked fantastic, Allmark started to have some troubles. They wait a bit too long to get their backup in, and, that backfires. So it's going to be hard if you haven't been on the ice the entire series in order to jump into this style of hockey when the last time you played, even though you played fantastically, was in the regular season. It's a whole new ball game once you get to the postseason.
Yeah, and for Joseph Wool, I mean, much like Samsonov, who didn't have much playoff experience under his belt, for Joseph Wool, this is his first go-around for the Leafs. He's in because Samsonov's hurt. Samsonov didn't get chased. It is a 2-2 game midway through that third period. So I don't really like that too much as a Leafs fan. I don't like that it's 2-2, but here we are anyways, either way. And then they find themselves here 2-2 heading into the final frame of this one, in which for us who have to drive back to North Bay, who have to get up for a day job tomorrow, are kind of hoping that, this doesn't go to overtime. Jordan Henry from the OHL, before Game 4, said, I'm feeling an overtime game. We're due for one. And that was before Game 4.
I don't want it, but I hate to say that I feel that he's right.
Don't. Nope, you're fired. Get out of here. Start walking home.
All right, bye.
Good thing for you is home isn't technically too far.
Yeah, I could call my parents. They could get me. They wouldn't be happy to get me, but they could get me.
There you go. Can you drive me home, too? They might not even like that even more. They might just put you on the bus at that point.
Hey, closest bus is Aurelia.
Oh, well. A little bit of a traffic jam coming over Aurelia today, if you were that way. Of course, the late, great Gordon Lightfoot's funeral, or wake, was today in Aurelia. And neat that even though he spent most of his life living in Toronto, he's being put to rest with his family in Aurelia. In the same cemetery in which I have a lot of relatives, not that I'm trying to toot my own horn here. But, yeah, Gordon Lightfoot, one of the best songwriters to ever walk this planet, easily the best songwriter to come out of Canada. I think that's undebatable. I think, if you want to argue, well, there have been a lot of great songwriters to come out of the Great White North, but I think Gordon Lightfoot's just got that extra level, you know what I mean? So he being put to rest in Aurelia, so a lot of extra traffic there on Highway 12 for us to contend with that normally wouldn't be there on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a lot of extra Sunday driving. I'm sure, a lot of people weren't happy to be making that drive, but it is an unusual amount of traffic to see there.
I just think it's, it's just neat that he's coming back to Aurelia, his hometown. That's where he was born and raised, and going back. And he obviously still held Aurelia near and dear to his heart, playing a lot of shows there later in life. Almost dying in Aurelia 20 years ago, actually, himself before a show when he had an issue with an aneurysm on the inside of his stomach, basically. So not really looking too hot there, but yeah, just kind of neat that he's able to come back to Aurelia. But that's enough of the depressing stuff. It's a 2-2 hockey game, but the Battalion have new life under them as it was 2-0 at one point.
Yeah, and we've seen this in those clutch games where oftentimes the troops are starting down, coming out of the first period. We saw it in the Game 7 Barrie series. That they were down and were able to slowly build momentum up. Though that didn't come until the third period, it's nice to see the tie-up and the momentum swing start a little bit earlier than that and see multiple pieces that had been fairly quiet throughout this series, like Josh Bloom, until last game where he started off really strong off the draw, and we saw that play again to almost come to fruition late in the second period. But Bloom with a really great shorthanded goal, and we see the digging, fighting in front of the net be very, very effective so far in this game, and the physicality after that first goal really started to roll through in the back check, in the forecheck, and creating opportunities for the troops.
Yeah, the Battalion have really been capitalizing on what chances they were given in that second period. And just to bring back up the Gordon Lightfoot comment, just because Ben Long says Leonard Cohen would be an argument for greatest from Canada. Well, I'll give you Leonard Cohen might be the best poet. Songwriter, I'm not so sure. Leonard Cohen, he never really did it for me. Never really did it, but I won't deny the lasting impact of some of his music that did come out. You know, some of the great songs, of course, Hallelujah from Leonard Cohen, but man, you could just list off a whole catalog of Gordon Lightfoot. I mean, If You Could Read My Mind, Sundown, Wreck of the Emmett Fitzgerald, you know, Rainy Day People, Cotton Jenny. I could keep on going because the man's just a monster. Wonderful, wonderful songwriter. But the Battalion with Roger back out on the ice for the Petes, throwing, again, great arm. And if you like great arms, you must like baseball. So if you like baseball, check out the 3-2 Count podcast. See how I just slid that one in there?
That was that a reference to your own podcast followed by referencing it with a pun?
Yes. And we're talking about the greatest writers in Canada. Check out the 3-2 Count podcast, mostly hosted by Matt Sukram these days because, well, I've been a little bit busy with going on the road here, but Matt and Brad Brooks have done a great job hosting the last two episodes on the 3-2 Count, where we talk anything and everything baseball, mostly Blue Jays, of course. It's called the 3-2 Count because, well, it's two hosts talking three subjects. We always talk about our hit on history as well, and, of course, it's honoring the late, great Roy Halladay, who wore number 32 for the Blue Jays. But with that being said, we are moments from puck drop here in Peterborough Memorial Center for period number 3, and we'll be back with more frontline coverage on the other side of this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for the third and potentially final frame of this game. We're all knotted up at 2 apiece. The Battalion lead this series 3-2 and are looking to avoid a Game 7 tomorrow night at North Bay Memorial Gardens, while the Petes are looking to preserve their season for at least one more night. As we're about to get ready, I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Harrison Clements. Check him out on social media. Harrison from, Doug Garrison, but he's Harrison from the Garrison. As after 40 minutes of play, it's 2-2. We're set for the opening drop here of this third period. And the puck is dropped, and we are underway once again for the third period. Puck into the Battalion end quickly, but Winslow gets to it. The Battalion in their road whites are going right to left. Peterborough in their home maroons going left to right this period. And Winslow skates all the way down deep into Peterborough territory, but a good stick there by the Petes negates a pass back to the blue line. Othman going cross ice looking for Hayes. Couldn't get the shot away. Now it's in deep for Robertson. Winslow battling behind his net. Othman loses his stick. Or rather Winslow. Now the puck is passed back to the point by the Petes, but all the way down to Simpson to play behind his net. Romani, who scored the equalizer late in that period. In deep. Gets it to McCoy. McCoy over for Robertson. Robertson down the ice for Nelson. Nelson up quickly for McDonald. McDonald sends it in. Stopped by Simpson, who will just cover that one up. And we'll get our first stoppage here of the third period. And we'll talk about our players to watch.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Our two players to watch, of course, Connor Lockhart and Owen Van Steensel. We're back underway here. Connor Lockhart picking up an assist on the second Pete's goal. So far it's been quiet by Owen Van Steensel in this one, but he has been all over the puck and with some good shots as well. As the puck is quickly out of play, so we'll get another stoppage here between the two players.
Van Steensel being really effective in the board battles. He's been showing that the entire postseason, using the body, getting pucks, and, you know, scoring a lot more recently. Looking very, very good.
Jackson was in for the offensive zone draw, but he gets it to Smith. Now it's down for Lucan. Lucan had the puck knocked away from him, and Beck gets the puck into Battalion territory. Beck takes the shot well wide. Now McDonald in there as well, but the puck goes around the end boards for Lockhart to get a piece of. Lockhart flips it back in. Stillman on the far side wall loses the puck on it, and the Battalion get possession of it. Now it's Jackson. Jackson looking for Petrov down the ice, but it gets to Maye. Now it's to Smith. Smith flips the puck back down. Hislop gets to it, and he sends it up ice for Jackson. Jackson cross ice for Hislop. Hislop stops up, flips it down the ice, but the Petes grab possession once again before it's back into Battalion territory for Lucan to pick up. Lucan behind his net stops up, lets things settle down and let his team change quickly as an errant pass off Bloom's skate comes out, and the Petes get possession again, but now it's deep in Battalion territory with Lucan chasing after it. Lucan taken down hard in the corner, gets it over to Hislop. That was Wakely. Now it's to Bloom on the near side half wall. Bloom shovels it right back into the corner, and the puck comes out to Maye. Maye stops up, tries to throw it on net, stopped by DiVincentis. Now Nelson behind the net, battling for it in the far side corner. That's Lucan. Lucan, as the puck is stuck down there against the boards, comes out. Wakely tries to get to it. Now the Petes walk out front. A good chance there by Othman, turned aside by DiVincentis. And the Battalion knocked the puck down the ice. No icing will come on that one as McCoy gets to it. Flips it around the end wall. Robertson gets to it. Robertson down the ice. Flipping it into Battalion territory. Hayes comes away with it. Knocked to the side by Christopoulos. Now the puck comes out for Robertson. Robertson tried to shovel it on net, but it's cleared away by a good stick by Winslow. And now the puck up for Tarasevic to chase after. Tarasevic down the ice. Takes a shot off Simpson's shoulder, up in the air. And Spearing's going to get that one as he gloved it down. Now knocked down the ice, but a good stop there by Winslow. Kept it from going too far. Arnsby trying to find Tarasevic. Couldn't. Now it's deep into Battalion territory. And Christopoulos gets to it. Christopoulos leaves it as now McDonald goes for a skate. McDonald flipping it in on the backhand. Chasing after it. Smith flipped it back for Zanetti. Now Zanetti up the ice quickly for Lockhart to Stillman. Stillman gets around Nelson, and now it's deep into the Battalion zone behind the net. Beck with it on the far side. Battling for possession, gets it to Stillman. Stillman back to the point for Zanetti. Zanetti tries to throw it on net, blocked by McDonald. He couldn't get the loose puck back, and now the Petes have possession again. Take a sharp angle shot, and Nelson gets to it. Nelson goes for a bit of a skate before he flips it out of the zone. Kept him by the Petes, or rather knocked out, but it's judged on a hand pass against the Petes, so we'll get a stoppage here.
Both teams going for solid chances. A lot of fighting in the corner boards. You know, a really smart play by the Petes there. They're fighting in the boards for a long time. They get Othman out there. He manages to hold at the blue line, and as soon as that puck squirts free, fires a really good shot on net.
Barnsby lost the draw, so the puck's back into Battalion territory. Hislop with it. Over for Van Steensel. Van Steensel looks down the ice, flips it up the ice, looking for Romani. Romani missed that one. Flips it into Pete's territory, though. And Smith will get to it. Smith going behind his net to Maye. Maye up to the half board to Dubois. Back to Smith in the corner. Maye back to Smith. Now a hit by Romani, but the Petes have the puck. Going down the ice is Maye. Maye takes a sharp angled shot. That one's blocked by the Battalion, but the Petes still have possession. Looking to go out front, stopped by Van Steensel. Quickly down the ice for Romani. Romani comes in on Spearing, tries to take a shot. He fanned on that one as the puck just sat there. And now Othman into the Battalion territory on a quick counter. Bloom gets to it. Bloom looked up for Romani. That's going to go for icing as Romani was going off for a change. So we'll get another stoppage here and an offensive zone draw for the Petes.
And a really good push in there from Romani. And we saw this at the start of the game, and we're still seeing it now. That the troops are sending a guy in individually, seeing what he can get done, getting their changes off using that time, and hopefully being able to make a play from that presence.
Wakely in for the defensive zone draw. It's won by the Battalion. Up quickly for Bloom. Flips across ice for Ertel. Ertel takes a shot blocked by Spearing. Now it's into the behind the net. Near side, Bloom keeps it in, flips it right back in. Ertel goes after it, but it's to Wakely. Wakely missed that, and now it comes out for Simpson. And he stops the puck up, and we get some more global discussions in front of Simpson's net.
A little bit more peaceful this time, but we're seeing both teams play things very slowly and trying to, get those small breakout chances, trying to get one opportunity, another opportunity there. Neither team wanting to give up the mistake in this deadlock.
Wakely fishes it back to Bloom. Bloom walks in, stops up, goes back to the point for Winslow. Winslow throws the puck towards the net. It just misses. Now Ertel chasing after it in the corner, flips it back to Winslow. Winslow flips it right back into the corner. Smith gets to it. Now Wakely coming in for support as the puck is just stuck up against the end wall with Zanetti. Battling for possession in the corner. Smith down on the ice, knocked down. Beck tries to get it around Bloom. He can't. Christopoulos pinching in, keeps it in, takes a sharp angle shot, stopped by Simpson. And now the puck flipped out of the Pete zone, and Stillman with speed's going to get there first, but a good stick there by Christopoulos. Knocks it into the glass, and he's just going to slow things down. Christopoulos slowly out of his zone. Leaves it for Petrov. Petrov down the ice, flipping it in. Chases after it. McCoy gets to it first. Now behind the net is Tarasevich. Tarasevich trying to dig out for it. It's Procession out there as well. Maye comes away with it. He's taken down hard by Procession. Now Procession stuck up against the boards as the Petes come away with it. Perdeller over to McCoy. McCoy flips it out. Petrov tried to keep it in. And now it's Procession that gets the loose puck and flips it right back in as he avoids a hit from Perdeller. Tarasevich comes in trying to pressure Maye. It's up to Perdeller. That's flipped out. But Nelson keeps it in, takes a shot, it just sits there. The Battalion couldn't get to the loose puck. Now it's Van Steensel, skates around behind the net. Throws it out front for Jackson, and he couldn't pot that one. As now McCoy gets to it and clears the front of the net. Nelson tried to keep it in with his foot. And he's going to send it back to Lucan. Lucan quickly up the ice for Jackson. Now to Van Steensel. Van Steensel comes in, turns around, flips it over for Jackson. Jackson on the far side wall. Doesn't like what he sees, so he sends it back to the point. No one was there. And now Avon in a foot race with McDonald. Avon, sharp angle shot, missed the net. Robertson comes in and keeps it in. Now battle along the half wall here on the boards on the near side. Back to Smith, over for Othman. Othman looking out front. The Petes tried to tip it in, couldn't get it in the net as it hit the back boards. As now the puck comes loose to Winslow. Winslow flipping it out of the zone. As now it's down the other way. Nelson behind his net for Othman. Othman along with Winslow battling in the far side corner. It comes loose and it'll come to Maye. Maye Goes back in deep. Behind the net for the Petes. Far side, takes a sharp angle shot. DiVincentis stops that one, so we'll get another stoppage here with 11:35 left in this third period.
Two bouts of really good sustained pressure from both sides. The troops starting off in the Pete zone, managing to cycle effectively along the boards, get hard on the forecheck, pass it back, get a couple of good shots off, get back, hit on the back check solid. The Petes get a few shots off, but the troops keep them to different and unorthodox angles, missing on a nice tip there. Very, very close.
Battalion win possession in their own zone off the draw. It's near side to Bloom. Bloom flips it down the ice for Hertel to go after. Hertel now battling with Spearing in the corner. Hertel tries to stick handle around his man, but Lockhart gets to it. Now comes back in for Hertel, battling once again. Arnsby looking for the puck. Gets it out to Bloom. Bloom flipping it back in. Stillman gets to it. Now Beck going the other way. Beck tries to get the puck in deep. He does. It goes around the end wall. Lockhart gets to it, but Arnsby picks it up. Arnsby back out front for the Battalion. Hertel lost it. The Petes knock it out of the zone. And now Maye gets it quickly back up for Lockhart. Lockhart to Stillman. He overskated the puck. And now going the other way is Petrov. Petrov skates in. Looks for some options. Takes some shots. He scores! Matvey Petrov here halfway through the third period. Makes it a 3-2 game.
An absolutely beautiful play from Petrov. I'm sorry, Roger. I know, I'm sorry, Roger.
Yeah, you're still one of the best mascots in the league. We won't let Sarge know that, though. You're pretty good in our books, Roger. Sorry, bud. As he comes over and immediately goes, oh no, in front of us, and then gives us a fist bump on the way as well.
Petrov walks in after a big mistake. Pete's lose it in the zone. Petrov walks in left side, lets it rip. It just squeaks through the legs of Simpson. 3-2 game, 10:40 remaining.
Matvey Petrov's fourth of the playoffs, and that's his second goal of the series as well. As one of the best Russian imports here for the Battalion continues his magic. Wakely, as the puck is down in the Battalion end. 10:22 left. Pete's come away with it. Out to the point for White. White couldn't get a shot away as it's blocked by the Battalion. Now Wakely. Down the ice. It comes around the end wall. Romani gets to it first. Flips it right back to where it came from. White gets to it first. He gets it down the ice for Robertson. Robertson. Down the ice. Robertson going on a one-man mission. Takes a sharp angled shot. And the Battalion gained possession again. As DiVincentis stopped that one. White in his own zone. Gets it down the ice. Robertson tips it into Battalion territory. DiVincentis out to play the puck. Sends it around for Robertson as DiVincentis is knocked down behind his net. Nothing coming on that one. But nothing comes in the way of Pete's chances either, as the Battalion send it down the ice and it's going to hit the bench. So we're going to go to...
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center. That's right, we will have a post-game show regardless of the outcome. It might be Harrison by himself, it might not be. We'll have to find out as things go on here. And everyone loves a little bit more of the Garrison, so, you know, I just keep giving them some more of that delicious content there, Harrison.
Hey, I try and make a video after every game. It's hard to do between a regular season job. Sometimes I gotta double up, but man, it's been an absolute wonderful experience being brought onto the front line here, trying to bring the best recaps I can in a short amount of time. And you know, the troops are delivering on content and a fantastic game tonight. And despite everything, the energy here in the Peterborough Memorial Center has been so great. You know, I always love coming to games here. The energy is fantastic. It's a weird arena, but it's lovely.
It's actually one of my favorites that I've been in so far here in the OHL. And of course, you can follow him on the Garrison on socials. And it's wonderful having you around, Harrison, especially for long road trips to Peterborough, where you get to listen to me talk about silly things all the way down here. As it's Othman off the draw, flips it back into Battalion territory. Arnsby with the puck, flipping it in, as it's kept in by Othman. Othman skates around his man, goes out front. That's going to be a chance there by Maye, and they tie it up here at 3, a few moments after the Battalion went ahead.
Pete's with a big answer back. 9:14 remaining. They find Dom on the other side of his net. He has to slide over. It just squeaks in between his legs. He's not quite able to get there. Shots 35-22, and we are right back here tied.
It's Maye's second goal of the playoffs, his second of the series, as he scored the game winner in Game 3. And as the fans who were silenced there for a little bit come to life a little bit. And we're back underway momentarily as Beck wins it off the draw. Puck going down the ice into the Battalion territory. Ertel battling with Stillman as the puck's sent right back into Battalion territory. Nelson gets it behind his net. Flips it over for Lucan. Over for Ertel. Ertel takes a late hit from behind. That will be a penalty against the Petes. So the Battalion will go to one of their only power plays they've had in this game.
This will be number 2, I believe.
As it, who's going to the box? And it looks like Stillman? No. Seems like nobody seems to know who's going. It is Stillman who's going. So the Battalion will have an important power play here to try and regain the lead they just gave up. There will be an offensive zone draw here to the near side of Simpson, right in front of our broadcast.
Every opportunity you have to take full advantage of right now.
Jackson wins it back to Nelson. Nelson cross ice to Petrov. Petrov over inside for Jackson. Jackson back to the point for Petrov. Petrov with another shot. Stopped by Simpson, knocked to the side. Jackson goes back to the point for Nelson. Nelson flipping it back on net, stopped by Simpson. Spearing gets to that, and he sends it around behind the net. Petrov's going to get to that one first, and it's going to flip up and flip out, but that'll come to Spearing, and Spearing will send it down the ice. And DiVincentis came out to play it, but the puck took a weird bounce, as it does so often, off the end board. So Nelson gets to it. Nelson for Jackson. Jackson for Petrov. Petrov flips it in around the end wall. And now it's McCoy battling for it. Jackson tries to flip it out front. Couldn't get a handle on that one. McDonald tried to flip it out front as well, but now it comes to Jackson again. Jackson threw it out front. Van Steensel tried to get it on net. He takes a hard hit and goes down. Hayes back to the point for Petrov. Petrov over for Jackson. Jackson stops up, takes a shot. Glove saved there by Simpson. And we'll get a stoppage here with 58 seconds left on the man advantage for the Battalion.
A few really good looks there from the troops, but Simpson staying centered, manages to get that glove up. Really good save from him. Troops moving the puck around, fighting hard, keeping that sustained zone pressure. And, you know, something might give here. They're just laying it on, and something might crack.
Bloom coming in for the draw. And it's one back to Winslow. Romani gets to it. Romani, who has a goal in this game, gets it back to Winslow. Winslow over to Romani. Romani tried to leave it for Winslow, but he'll pick it back up again. Romani in deep for Ertel. Ertel in the corner. Back to Romani at the point. Romani back to Ertel playing pitch and catch. Looked to go cross ice, but instead he's going to walk, send it in deep for Wakely. Back to Romani to Winslow. Winslow back to Romani, takes a shot. Oh, it's off the crossbar as Ertel tried to tip that one in. Bloom now walking around. Goes back to Romani. Romani walks in, takes a shot. That one hit a body and goes into the corner. Pete's now scrambling for possession. Winslow keeps it in, gets it to Bloom. 14 seconds left on the man advantage. Shot on net. Turned aside by a body in front. As now the puck sent back down the ice with 5 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Winslow walks down the ice, gets to Ertel. Ertel couldn't get the puck in deep. And now it's sent down the ice. Avon and Stillman on the attackers are back to 5-on-5. Avon round behind the net to Stillman. Stillman in the far side corner. Battling around with Wakely. It comes out front. Good chance there by Smith. Turned on net. Stopped by DiVincentis by Avon. Back to McCoy. McCoy took a shot. It's kicked aside by Van Steensel, but the Pete's got possession of it. Now Wakely, sliding to his knee, sends it down the ice. Back in deep. Christopoulos chasing after it. Christopoulos in the near side corner. Gets it to Mathurin. Mathurin for Arnsby. Arnsby up the ice now as Tarasevic sends it down deep. Puck comes back, bouncing out. Puck knocked aside to Van Steensel. Van Steensel comes away with it. Puck sent out front, just kicked wide of Simpson's net as Lockhart gets to it. Lockhart in the corner. Gets it near side now. And up the ice to Dubois. Dubois stops up, sends it round behind the end wall for the Battalion to chase after. Lukin getting to it. Gets it to Petrov. Now it's just stuck there at the end wall. Under 6 minutes to go here in this third period. We're all knotted up at 3. As McDonald skates down the ice. Flipping it into the Pete zone. He took a hard hit. Smith now with the puck in his own zone. Stops up, gets it to Spearing. Spearing goes around behind to Othman. And now the puck comes out. And it's Beck. Beck walks in. Tries to get around Nelson. Takes a sharp angled shot. Turned aside by DiVincentis. Now the puck behind the Battalion net. Another chance out front. Stopped by DiVincentis. It comes out. Pete's continue with possession. Beck knocked aside by Petrov. And Petrov goes for a skate. Petrov walks in. Goes back to McDonald. Takes the shot. That one's off his stick. And it goes well high and out of play. And onto the netting behind the net. With 4:57 left here in this third period.
What a crazy sequence. The Troops with a lot of good chances on their power play. Somehow that puck stays out on the crossbar. Pete's answer back with a few really solid chances. And the rushing is going back and forth. Both teams don't want this to go to overtime.
Draw coming to the far side of Simpson between Robertson and Bloom. As now the Battalion tried to will it forward. The Pete's grab it though. Maillet got it back to Nelson. Nelson throws it on net. Hit a body before it got to Simpson. Now Ertel has it. Flips it back to Nelson. Nelson takes another chance. Takes a shot. That one was blocked in front. I'm not sure if it ever got to Simpson. Now Stillman has it. Stillman looking for Robertson. He just flings it right back into Pete's territory. Nelson with it. Gets it back to Hislop. Hislop up the ice for Bloom. Bloom goes cross ice. It's tipped in by Ertel. Now the Battalion making a change as Maillet picks up the puck in his own zone. Goes down the ice. Finds Lockhart. Lockhart tries to dump it in deep into Battalion territory, but Romani gets to it. Now it's Christopoulos. Christopoulos for Winslow. Winslow down the ice. Flips it in. And White gets to it. White knocked hard into the glass. Gets it in deep for Romani. Romani knocks his man down. And now the puck comes out, but Spearing gets to it and sends it down the ice. Christopoulos chasing after it in his own zone. Christopoulos walks behind the net. Looks up ice for Wakely. Wakely gains the red line, throws it into the Pete zone. Now it's Othman flipping it up for Maillet, who gets it to Perdeller, who sends it into Battalion territory. Nelson now with it. Under 3.5 left in this third period. Nelson down the ice. Nelson walks in. Looks to take a shot, tried to get a rebound, but it missed the net entirely. Kept in by Mathurin to McDonald. McDonald walks in, takes a shot. That one hit a body and rolls in on Simpson, who just gloves it down. And we'll get another stoppage here with 3:13 left. Shots on goal, 39-26 in favor of Peterborough. It's all knotted up at 3 goals apiece.
This has been a tight final 10 so far. Both teams happy to take their time, set up for a play, and try and get something going. Nothing crazy, solid playmaking, and opportunities left and right.
Jackson in for the draw against Robertson. And it's one back to Spearing. Spearing flipping it out of his zone. Gets it to Mathurin. Mathurin plays it back to Nelson. Nelson quickly up for Jackson. That one was well out of his reach as he tried to bat it down, but it's stopped as he did get a piece of it. Now Nelson behind his net. Flips it in for McDonald to chase after. McDonald just shoves it up against the boards. And now we see it come loose with Mathern chasing after it. Mathern lost a stick as he got it wrapped around him. And now the puck once again in a board battle on the far side. Robertson in there. He gets it. He pokes it loose. And the Petes come away with possession. And now the Battalion pick up the loose puck as Petrov going down the ice. Petrov looking for McDonald. McDonald sends it in on a blind shot on net. Turned aside by Simpson. Smith gets to it. Sends it down the ice as it hits a stick of Dubois. And so there'll be no icing there. Christopoulos knocked down. And he gets back up quickly. And now the puck on the near side wall comes out to Jackson. Or Van Steensel rather. Van Steensel carrying it into Pete's territory. Sends it around the end wall for Tarasevic. But Zanetti gets to it first. Zanetti behind him to Maye. Now down the ice for Perdeller. And now Winslow comes and gets a hold of it in his own territory. Winslow going cross ice for Christopoulos. Christopoulos out from his own net. Hits the blue line, hits the stick of Arnsby, and the Battalion will go for a quick change. As now it's up ice to Othman in the Pete zone. Othman cross ice for Hayes. Hayes with some speed takes a shot. That one hits a body, bounces up into the netting behind the net, and we'll get a stoppage of play here with a minute and a half left in this third period, all tied at 3.
I already regret talking about overtime and intermission. I'm sorry.
You should.
I will take the blame on this one. But both teams, neither wants to make a mistake. They just want to make solid plays, see if they can get something going, and if something has to happen in extra time, so be it.
Battalion win the draw in their own zone. Nelson flipping it down the ice. It gets to the neutral zone, but Spearing gets to it first. Now it's cross ice to Smith. Smith sends it in deep for Nelson to chase after. Nelson nearly lost it. He does as it's a sharp angle shot. Good chance here for the Petes, negated by the Battalion with some good defensive zone sticks. Now Jackson up to Hertel. Hertel tries to get around Smith, chasing after it. Hertel in the Petes zone. Gets it back to Nelson, took a one-time shot, and that one missed the net. Now we're into the final minute here. Winslow looked to send it behind the net. Spearing got to it. Now Winslow battling with Spearing on the near side wall. Bloom tried to find back to the point, but now it's Spearing who flips it out of the zone. Up to Beck. Beck gains the zone, takes a shot, rolls it on DiVincentis, and with 41 seconds on the nose left in this period, DiVincentis will just cover it up.
A really good opportunity. Owen Beck, lots of space in the slot there, lines up, and unfortunately for the Petes, fans on it, Dom covers that quickly. You know, we got 41 seconds here left in the game. We've seen really effective chances off of quick draws, and you know, the Petes might try something. It's going to be on a knife's edge here for the final minute.
Offensive zone draw for the Petes is won by the Battalion. Winslow behind his net. Quickly up ice for Tarasevic. Tarasevic gains the red line, flips it in. Bounces out front. White got to it first, or Maye, I should say. Now he's battling with Van Steensel. Stillman flips it out. No, it's kept in by Christopoulos. And then Robertson does flip it out. Now Nelson gets to it. 20 seconds left here in regulation. Nelson behind his net to Christopoulos. Christopoulos down the ice. Van Steensel got a piece of it. But now it's to Stillman. Stillman flips it right back in. And we're into single digits now left on the clock. And the puck quickly up for Romani. Romani cross ice for Van Steensel. Van Steensel, that's going to do it here. And because Harrison told you, we are going to overtime now at the Peterborough Memorial Center here in Game 6. All knotted at 3 here. Win or go home for Peterborough. Win or play tomorrow. Win or play tomorrow, I guess, for the Battalion. So, sudden death overtime for the Petes. The Battalion still have tomorrow to play for. We'll see what happens coming up on the front line on the other side of this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center here for our third intermission, because we all love doing that when we have to drive home in the morning. We're no strangers to overtime when it comes to the Barrie series, but this is the first time any of these games has gone to overtime in this series. And the Petes, of course, playing with their season on the line, down 3-2 in this series, are trying to push this one to a deciding Game 7 tomorrow at North Bay Memorial Gardens. The Battalion looking to put Peterborough away, and whichever team does come out of this series will face the London Knights, who took down the Sarnia Sting earlier today 5-1, because, you know, they're allowed to play a game at 2 in the afternoon, but hey, let's play this one at 7. Right when the Leafs are playing too, which they're going to overtime too, so that's awesome. Again, as mentioned, it's 3-3 here. Shots in that period were even, 10 apiece, both teams scoring a goal. Overall, the Petes, though, up 41-28 when it comes to shots. Face-offs have also taken a bit of a dip for the Battalion. It's now 35-25 in favor of the Petes. Troops are 0-2 on the power play. Peterborough's 0-4. And in that period, Matvei Petrov scored with the 9:18 mark, and then just his 4th of the playoffs. And then just over a minute later, Sam Maillet scoring his 2nd of the playoffs, assisted by Brandon Othman and Tucker Robertson at 10:46 to tie the game at 3, and that's all we've had for scoring. Since then, we got Chase Stillman in the 3rd period for check from behind on a 2-minute minor. And one has to think, although we've seen stranger things happen, and especially in this league, one has to think that the referees are likely putting their whistle away because they won't want to become an outcome in this game.
Well, for the most part, that seemed to be the case in the 3rd period, is there wasn't a lot of calls happening. You know, there was the ones for more egregious penalties, but for the most part, especially in the final 10 minutes, it seemed to be fairly play on. The only whistles really being icing or offside.
Yeah, the only penalty coming in the final, the only penalty coming in that 3rd period was Stillman's check from behind, which the Battalion got some good looks to try and put themselves back up a goal. They just couldn't after Peterborough tied it. The Battalion scoring 3 straight goals in that one after the Petes had gone 2 straight to start the game. So, the Battalion are looking to score the next one in here. Peterborough's looking to make it 2 straight goals again. Because of as much as the North Bay loves the 7th man, you don't want to give a team a chance in a 7th game.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, it evens the playing field in the mental game. Both of your backs are up against the wall then. For now, you know, the Battalion have the quote-unquote luxury of knowing that even if they lose this, they have another chance. Petes have everything to fight for in this overtime, and they show that they do have that killer edge, you know, not letting themselves get fazed by the fact they went down a goal. They answered back immediately. They've had that fight in them. That's a big reason why they took down Ottawa. You know, they had one game in that series where they gave up a 3rd period, you know, disastrously, and managed to get in their heads again and fight back and not let that happen again to take out the 67s. So we'll have to see what sort of overtime this brings.
It almost happened, though, in back-to-back games. I mean, there was a 4-1 lead going into the third period of Game 5, and the 67s were able to fight back and win that game 5-4 at home, as you mentioned. And then Game 6, the Petes were up 5-1 to start the third period, and they only won that game by a margin of 5-4 over the 67s. The 67s didn't end up having a full-on comeback up their sleeve a second time around. And I'm sure that made a lot of fans here at the PMC pretty tense watching Game 6 against the 67s.
Well, still talking about games here at the PMC, you know, the first game that the Petes have lost at home was the last time that the troops were in town. So, you know, that's a heck of a record, especially when, you know, you are more in control at home. And, you know, we've seen splits for the most part from the Battalion when they've been playing in these playoffs. So, you know, the Petes have to have that in the back of their mind that this is their place, they know what they're doing, and they have that killer instinct. And the Battalion know if we have the chance to close this out now, we can avoid a really difficult tomorrow Game 7. We can get rested up for the next series, and they can close things out here and now on their terms.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting stat, though. Or not stat, but a little bit of an interesting, nerdy, stupid thing to know. Every single time that the Battalion have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bobby Orr Trophy has been presented at North Bay Memorial Gardens. Year 1, they swept the Oshawa Generals when they were the bottom seed, so they won the trophy on home ice. Year 2, once again, the bottom seed, losing in 6 games to Oshawa, so Oshawa won in North Bay. Then last year, being the bottom seed again against the Hamilton Bulldogs, being swept, Hamilton hoists the trophy at home. This year, the Battalion are the top seed, so they're looking to reverse that a little bit and hoist the trophy on enemy soil. But the Bobby Orr Trophy is no stranger to being hoisted at North Bay Memorial Gardens.
That is a very interesting stat. And, you know, this sort of has been a series of stat lines holding true, for better or for worse. You know, first to score ended up winning the series in Mississauga. Second to score ended up being the winner in Barrie. Game 6 away did not go quite as well for the Battalion in Barrie last time, but, you know, since the Barrie series, we've seen a stronger Battalion come out, a more resilient Battalion come out, and, you know, that's speaking volumes here in this Game 6 compared to their game against Barrie, where, you know, they started to look like they were faltering. The Battalion haven't looked bad tonight. They just haven't necessarily had the edge to put them, you know, above and beyond like they did in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, and I wonder if part of that is the whole Zito factor, too, as well, like not having a big player like that where you're able to roll your 3.5 lines that you had. Whereas we've seen, you know, guys like Procession in that third period largely not on the ice. And also this is the first game, too, where the Battalion haven't gone with 7, or they have gone with 70, sorry, but we haven't seen Luke Bruskowski out there in a long time either. So a bit of an interesting factor. And I think if you're the Petes, no disrespect to Cam Govro, you're going to take that trade-off of Cam Govro for Pasquale Zito every day of the week.
Yeah, getting rid of a point-a-game player. It's no matter how much your depth is, it's going to be difficult to replace that.
Ah, frig. Florida win.
Florida win.
Yeah, whatever. Is what it is. Team I care about still on the ice, so Leafs are good. I said it at the beginning of the series. I said if the Leafs get swept, you know what? I'm okay with it because they finally won a series, so what? That's okay. We'll take it for now.
Well,
the Leafs are going to leaf.
The Leafs are going to leaf, and hopefully the Battalion are going to do what the Battalion do best, which is fight tough and, you know, continue on, you know, grinding in the boards, making smart plays, using their hockey IQ, which they have plenty of. We've seen them make really smart, unorthodox plays in order to get that slight edge. And the Petes are going to continue to play their fast style, you know, using their legs like Avon, who's managed to, you know, get one on the board tonight. Using stars like Beck in order to make really solid plays. And, you know, the troops got to lean on their depth, lean on their grind, and it's going to be a game of inches as it already has been in this game.
It has indeed been a game of inches for sure. As the it's kind of interesting. We talk about the square corners and how much they played, a factor in some of these games. It's funny, when I came down here, I never really noticed a difference in the game. But then you go back to North Bay and you really notice a change in the game from Peterborough to North Bay with the corners. That being said, again, as we mentioned, it's a game of inches, or since we're Canadian, game of centimeters. But there have been a couple of close calls on both sides that could have resulted in goals, and we've seen that all series long, too.
Absolutely. Dom, early in the game, had to make an absolutely fantastic stretch pass. The troops on their power play there in the third period, ring one off the crossbar, could be single centimeter, single millimeter faster, closer in on the net, and this game is over at this point. So we got to see who's able to ice up, who's able to keep the focus, and who's able to come out ahead here. Because, as we said, the Petes know what's on the line, and they've known that they've been going into a very difficult series. We've heard it from the coach that they know that the Battalion are a good team, and they know that they can fight back and play better than they had in the previous two games that they played in the Gardens and the one that they lost at home. And they've been showing that here. The Petes know how good they are, and they know that they have that fight in them. They got that dog in them. They got Roger on their side. And the troops, they will keep fighting. We've seen their resilience. They've played long series the entire playoff. They're no stranger to this scenario, and it's just going to be a matter of who's able to come out on top.
Well, with Roger out there on the ice right now, making some spectacular throws once again, we'll have to see if the Battalion are able to hold true here in overtime. Coming up on the front line, we'll take one more break, and we'll be back here for overtime. Hopefully the only overtime period that we'll see here in Peterborough. But either way, we'll be back on the other side of this. He's Harrison, I'm Courtney, and we'll be back.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside the Peterborough Memorial Center for overtime here in game number 6 between the Battalion and the Peterborough Petes. The Battalion had a 3-2 lead for a whole minute before the Petes were able to claw back and tie the game with about 9 minutes left in that third period. And now the Battalion looking to put the Peterborough Petes away for good. Peterborough looking to preserve their season for at least one more night. and go into Game 7 tomorrow at North Bay Memorial Gardens. The Battalion looking to end things here. They beat Mississauga in 6. They beat Barrie in 7. Peterborough beat Sudbury in 4. And then they beat Ottawa in 6. A series I don't think many people thought the Pete's coming out of. And as we've seen, this Peterborough team, very tenacious and a very good one in front of the Battalion. The Battalion equal to the task so far throughout this series with only 2 blowout games so far, coming in games 4 and 5 for the Battalion as we get set for the opening draw. And we are underway for overtime here at the PMC in this period as the Petes quickly put the puck out of play, but it's off the glass, so we'll get another face-off here right away, 5 seconds in. The Petes in their home maroons are going right to left. The Battalion and their road whites are going left to right this period as they switch ends, and it's like the second period. Arnsby in for the draw, loses it, and Peterborough Spearing gets to it. The Battalion have a lot of has a lot of experience here in overtime in the playoffs as Spearing gets the puck deep into Battalion territory. Robertson throws the puck on net. Divinchentis stops that one up and covers it up as a sharp angle shot came in from Robertson and is turned aside by number 31 for the Battalion.
Seems like it's going to be very dump and chase, see what you can make off of being in the zone, use the wonky boards to your advantage. You know, we're only 20 seconds into this, and it feels like it's been a minute already, just fighting for everything.
Arnsby in for the defensive zone draw, wins it over to Christopoulos. Christopoulos out of his zone, gains the blue line, gets around Othman, throws it out front. It goes behind the net, rather. Now the puck's down for Winslow. Winslow flips it back into Peterborough territory, and that's going to be stopped up by Hayes. Now sent down the ice by Peterborough, and that'll go into Battalion territory for Christopoulos. Christopoulos leaves it behind for Winslow. Winslow up the ice for Bloom. Bloom couldn't hold it as it goes past the blue line. Now it's Zanetti. Zanetti flinging it into Battalion territory for Bloom to chase after. Bloom tried to chip it out. Now the puck goes up in the air for Stillman. It comes down on a high stick by the Battalion, but the Petes touch it, so no call. Lockhart behind the net to Stillman. Stillman nearly lost it to Winslow. He does. Now Jackson gets to it. Jackson flips it up for Bloom. Bloom gets it up to Hertel. Hertel with some speed flips it into Peterborough territory and chases after it as Zanetti gets to it first. Now it's down to Lockhart. Kept in. Lockhart flipped it out. Nelson's going to have to chase after it. It's going to be Lucan who gets to it first. Lucan up the ice to Hertel. Hertel flipping it in, and the Battalion are going to go for a quick change. Minute and a half gone here in this overtime period as the Petes flip it down the ice, and it's going to be stopped up by Divinchentis as Perdeller comes in to try and cover it up, but Divinchentis got the puck, and we're going to get a stoppage here.
Very good push into the zone from Hertel. He's managed to bring the puck in effectively, and the troops are doing a really good job of getting in front of pucks, trying to clear the zone. They're holding it well and trying to make opportunities off of that, but the Petes are fighting back just as hard, putting multiple men on, getting that out.
Head coach Rob Wilson arguing with the linesman on something, but the puck comes out and it hits the side of the net from the Petes as they took a shot off the draw. And now it's sent down the ice. Maillet with it. Up the ice for Perdeller. Perdeller flips it in. Hislop stops up. Goes cross ice for Mathurin. Mathurin quickly down the ice for Petrov. Petrov's pass went for Wakely, missed him. Now it's up for McDonald, who gets a piece and chips it in. And we'll get a stoppage here. Rob Wilson still barking at the referees. I think he's looking as to why Divinchentis was allowed to touch that puck in the no-play zone. Well, where he played it and then he slid, it was not in the no-play zone.
Breaking news, ice is slippery.
It's amazing how that happens.
Especially tonight with the puck. There's been lots of bouncing pucks tonight.
Face off back at center ice. Now Winslow tries to push it forward to Pete's territory, but Arnsby gets to it. Arnsby tried to send it back in. Now Peterborough stopped that one up, but couldn't get any chance off that one as Winslow carries the puck behind his net. Arnsby on the near side corner, going cross ice, gets it up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel gains the red line, flips it in. Puck sent back in. Arnsby walking in, takes the shot, stopped. Another chance by Winslow, stopped up by the Petes, and now the Petes have a 2-on-1 going the other way. Hoffman goes over for Hayes. Hayes with a shot! We'll see you tomorrow night. The Battalion fall in Game 6 here in Peterborough. We'll be back underway here on the front line on the other side as we're being heckled by the fans of Peterborough. That's nice. As the Petes win. So Game 7 tomorrow night in North Bay. The Battalion with a chance to clinch the trophy. Can't do it here.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
Here's your 3 stars of the game. Dom DiVincentis, your 3rd star, making 40 saves, looking anything but shaky in this one. Brendan Othman with 2 assists, and then Avery Hayes, your 1st star, as he gets the overtime winner here. That's all I'm going to say because, the fans in front of us were really great at the end of that one. We're trying to do a professional job here, which I get it. We're trying to have some fun too, but we're trying to do something, and then the fans turn around and start heckling us. And the second that goal goes in, enjoy the game, watch your team, and don't be dinks about it. I'm sorry. That really annoys me when you're trying to do something like this. It didn't happen in Barrie, shockingly, although the fans were at each other's throats in that series. But now that's twice here where the Petes have won here. And the Battalion, when we've been here calling these games, that's twice now that we've had issues with the fans sitting right in front of us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird setup here, unfortunate. But, that's kind of the thing about small town hockey sometimes is there's a little bit less decorum in the scenarios. To break down that final goal, though, Troops have a really good opportunity at the other end. Unfortunately, they can't control it in the zone. Pete's managed to get a really good breakout 2-on-1. They get the perfect setup, managed to do the cross-ice pass, beats Dom, close game, and, Troops managed to pull back a little bit more. They just can't hold the lead in the 3rd period. And, historically, they've played very well at home. As you said, the Bobby Orr Cup has been presented at Memorial Gardens. As we've seen in these playoffs, stat lines have held true. A team that scores first wins. Historic stat lines have also held up. So I wouldn't be too worried if I was a Battalion fan going into Game 7 tomorrow. It's going to be tense. It's a Game 7, and the Petes, they're here to win as well. That's why we're here in the Memorial Center here in Peterborough for this Game 6. They played very well. The troops, a couple things to work on is making sure that the Petes have no space. They've been very good at creating space for themselves, and the Battalion just haven't had that opportunity for the most part in the O-zone. So they've had to rely on breakout plays, which the Petes were very good at shutting down tonight. The Battalion, good at making plays out of nothing, good at finding those small opportunities, but it came down to a knife's edge. The Petes won it, and unfortunately we are going back home to North Bay for a long car ride home and a nail-biting Game 7 tomorrow.
Good news is, from where we call the game in North Bay, well, the fans don't really get into it with us. So that's always awesome. So we'll have that game for you tomorrow night on the front line. Could be our last broadcast of the season. Who knows? It is Game 7. The Battalion have won, I believe, the last 3 Game 7s that they played at home. They beat Niagara in the first round in 2013-14. And they beat Peterborough, ironically, 2 years later in Game 7 of the first round. And then they beat Barrie last round in 7. And now we have another Game 7 on our hands here. We'll have to see what the Petes are able to do. Battalion with a good track record in Game 7. Also good news for the Battalion. They, they haven't lost back-to-back games since the end of February. And neither has Dom DiVincentis. Dom DiVincentis hasn't lost back-to-back games all season long. So, that's basically all I got for this one, Harrison. I'm not happy. I'm not very impressed. I'm actually quite annoyed right now, especially because of the fans. It's one thing to lose in overtime. It's another thing to do that right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I will be making mention of that. Not that we'll be back here this year at all. Not that we plan on being here in the regular season, but we'll see what happens. North Bay, get behind these boys tomorrow. You need to make something happen. You need to be as rowdy as you were in Game 7. Hopefully, the Battalion come out flying in that one instead of going down 2-0 going into that third period like they did. Because this Pete's team has shown to be a different animal than those Barrie Colts. So, he's Harrison. I'm Courtney. I have a post-game press conference to get to. He has some packing up to get to before we start our trip home. I guess we'll talk to you tomorrow on the front line. Have a good one, everyone.